3, 2, 1. R.I.P. What's up, man?
What's up? R.I.P. Woo, Art LeBeau.
Dude, I thought he was dead already. I'm not gonna.
That's so crazy.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna joke around. I'm not gonna say I listened to him since the 18 whatever when he was born.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even do that. But I thought he was dead this whole time, and I'm sorry, world.
I don't think you're alone on that. I think there's a lot of people that probably thought he was dead. I told you a couple years ago. I thought, not that I just didn't. He was like an afterthought for me, right?
Uh-huh.
I just wasn't listening anymore. And when I saw Art LeBeau live over here or whatever, I'm like, wait, what? And that's when I started following on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, I didn't even know he had an Instagram. So I started following him, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, 97 years old. You know, he lived a long life. I think he holds the record for consecutive years of broadcasting for 79 years.
Does he really?
Yeah, you guys might want to fact check me on that.
Let's do it. That's our first fact check.
I always wanted to say that here on the Mind Buzz.
2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes in, and we got to look something up.
Google that shit. No, you know what's funny? That the podcast that I started, the very first one, we actually made a joke of it where we weren't fact checking. Like,
really?
We're just like, take our word for it, and if not, please correct us. And that's how we would get a lot of feedback.
Oh, okay. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. But I like this one too. This, you guys, check it right away.
Yeah, we got to, because we have people on that just, say, dinosaurs aren't real.
Well, that's his,
Michael Jackson's still alive.
Right, yeah. There's so many more. Michael Biden, right? Michael Biden. There's a lot of them.
Michael Biden. I don't think I've heard that one before.
Yeah, I think he even said it on your show, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
He said a lot.
He did say a lot.
He gives me a lot of information that I am overstimulated, and he's banking on the fact that I'm overstimulated of what he's telling me, and that way we don't get to fact check anything.
I think that might be his method of just like the insanity. He would just keep saying things over and over and over again, and you're like, wait, what?
So we're gonna look up Art LeBeau holds what now?
I'll just put Art LeBeau consecutive years of broadcasting.
There we go.
No, yeah, dude. So I listen to Ramos, but it's like in pieces. There's times when I just got to tune out, and I'm like, oh, this is too much.
Like, too much truth, man.
Too much truth or not, I don't know. Like you believe what you want to believe, but I'll tune out, and then for some reason I just got to get back into it. I just push pause, take a break, and then get back into it again. And finish the episode.
There we go.
Consecutive years of.
That's how you spell consecutive?
That's not how you spell it, but we can go with it. I'm sure there you go. It'll correct her.
There we go. Oldies but goodies, longtime radio DJ Art LeBeau. Oh no, that's the.
Years?
Is it?
I think it said 75 years. I thought it was 79. But
look at him. Let's look at that guy.
Wow.
Like.
Oh, you got to sign up for that. You got to get that 4-week trial. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do it. Look at him. Look at that guy. He was a walking skeleton.
Hey, he looks good. 97. I wish I looked like that in 97.
Yeah.
I'm pretty close to that right now, and I'm only 42.
No, he's a very handsome man. I apologize for that.
Jewish man. I always thought he was.
He was Jewish?
Yeah, I always thought he was like Mexican. He's Jewish.
Isn't it weird? Like you listen to him for like 20 years, and you're like, oh snap! Yeah. He's a white guy.
He's a white guy. I always thought he was one of us.
Yeah, you thought he was Hispanic?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I always thought he was like Latino, somehow like mixed or whatever. And then so I found out he was Jewish. So I was like, oh, he's not even half, not even a quarter of Latino. But he took, and it wasn't even, we just took it as it was our music, but it was performed by mostly like, whites and blacks, the music that we used to bump and listen to. All these oldies but goodies.
I thought Art LeBeau was a black gentleman, to be honest.
Oh, did you?
I thought he was a black gentleman.
What, his deep voice?
I think that's what it was.
Maybe.
Yeah. But my favorite thing was when he would like do like requests.
Yeah.
And like Sleepy out and Victorville sending you a big old kiss.
Oh.
And then he'll do that like on the radio.
Yeah.
Well, that one sucked. So
that my kiss?
No, mine.
No,
did.
yours I think was better.
No,
than mine.
mine was. It was like something coming out of like a something. I don't know.
Yours was like a queef.
It was.
Sounded like a queef.
Did it?
It kind of did.
Queefs don't sound like that. No? I don't know what kind of queefs you've been listening to, but
many different kinds of queefs. Some like intoxicated queefs.
There we go.
And we'll get into that another time. But we should try to do another kiss.
Go for it.
All right.
Okay.
That?
No, how was that? Judge? Do we have a judge?
Pretty good.
That was pretty good.
There we go.
You do yours.
I just did mine. Mine was terrible. I'm not going to do it again.
Redemption.
Okay. Hold on. I need to wet my
He
lips.
needs to wet his beak. He needs to wet his beak. Here we go. Gil's going to try it. He's going to attempt it. The Art LeBeau kiss. That's how you kiss your mother. What is that, dude?
Okay.
Put some back into that, dude. Get some tongue action or something, man. That's how you kiss your mom, dude.
I can't. I'm stage fright. Right now I have stage fright.
Okay.
Hold on. 3, 2, 1.
That was pretty good.
That sounded like a record scratch. That was awesome.
Yeah, I think you should play that back. You should record it, play it back, and have it as a drop.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Let's look up. I want to hear him. We got to hear the real Art LeBeau.
Art LeBeau kiss.
Yeah.
You know, while she's looking for that, I'll give you a little story on Art LeBeau. So, and my wife, she don't listen, but she'll probably kill me if someone that was to tell her. I'm telling this story. When we were young, we're starting dating. We're listening to Art LeBeau and Sunday nights or Sunday evenings. And for years, she would always listen. And for years, she thought that when people called in and says, "Oh, I just want to play a song for my papi chulo. Hey, the kids miss you. We hope you come home. We're waiting for you. Whatever." And then they dedicate the song, right? And then the kiss, right?
Yeah.
Gilly do the kiss. Boom. And for years, she thought that there was people requesting songs for men that were in service.
Oh, really?
Overseas, and they're gonna come back.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, these guys are in jail. That's Little Puppet. It's Mikey and all that. Those guys
Little
are
Puppet,
in jail.
Sleepy.
Yeah, Sleepy. They're all in jail.
Toasty, Gill, Art LeBeau kiss on the radio. There's nothing on YouTube. There has to be somebody out, some weirdo, up late at night. Just I'm gonna capture all the singing stuff. It's gotta
be like an Art LeBeau signature kiss.
Right?
This is Art LeBeau.
That's him. There has to be something. Art LeBeau radio kiss. Man, they already have videos of him already. I bet you somebody.
97. Those things were just on cue.
They were on cue, right? Somebody out there was just waiting to publish.
Because they all want to be the first to have it, right?
Waiting to publish.
The very first dedication, Art LeBeau, tribute video to Art LeBeau.
Dude, this may be the first podcast talking about Art LeBeau. This is going to be out in the next couple of hours.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is. This is very likely. Wait, this is going to come out in the next couple hours?
Yeah.
Damn, you're pretty quick.
Yeah, in about what? Like after we stop?
Yeah.
Like, and anybody listening to this is a hot take. This is like after I stop, podcast, within 20, 30 minutes.
Oh,
it's out on Spotify.
Oh my God. You guys, this is October 10th. We are talking at 7:30 p.m. So you guys do the math.
There we go.
That's
okay.
Crazy.
Did we find anything? No?
The Art LeBeau show. Well, that's hot.
We're glad to have you here for our show. We have some great stars tonight.
Hey, what's up? It's Rico and Mambo from the Rico and Mambo Morning Show.
There
we we want to welcome Art LeBeau to Q1047. Man, I've never worked with a legend before. Some say this guy's a legend, but
yeah.
I'm nowhere close to the legend.
He was on The
You're
Simpsons.
a legend, though.
I'm a legend. Yeah,
Oh, he's been on everything.
It's lonely at the top.
Oh. Slowly at the
We also
top.
want to welcome you back to the new Q1047 in the IE. We're
I don't
so
think he's gonna do the
excited
kiss.
to have you.
No, I don't think
have
so.
you back in the IE.
I'm too. I am too. I was.
Yeah, he's
in
not
the
gonna do
IG
it.
for 21 years.
Unless he's
And
gonna
I
kiss
wanna
those
be
guys,
with Eric,
which I highly doubt.
24/7, kick some butt.
There it is.
Yeah, there you
I've
go.
never met a
When they
Jewish
told
man
us we
kissing
need to
another
find
guy.
A new
Oh,
home
really?
for
Never.
Art.
Wow.
I feel Q1047 is going to be the home you're going to stay at for good.
Yeah, and then we're
no.
with all
Let's take it
people
off.
and call
K-Day.
in. It's a live show.
They
Take
said
it off.
he's going to
We
stay
really
there for
do
good.
do the
Didn't he
dedications.
end his career on K-Day?
Wherever his career ended today.
It was
I don't know. Was
I
it?
think it was K-Day.
Was it?
93.5.
Yeah, I don't think there's not. So that leaves us. to
reenact it and just keep going with it, right?
Maybe, to reenact it, to do the video.
What I think you should carry on the legacy of the Art LeBeau kiss and end your podcast with a kiss.
Okay, we could do that one. Definitely. But yeah, he came out with like CDs and stuff.
Oh my God, it goes. I mean, so there's these epic concerts they used to go down at Monte Union High School. Or I think it was the Union Hall, but it was in Monte. And he was known. I mean, that was his thing. You know, he would come out here and he would host these shows. Anybody back in the day would tell you how those shows were. This was, I think, right after the whole Zoot Suit kind of thing.
So it was like back in the 50s.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, 97 years old. The guy's,
right,
been doing it for a long time. I'm assuming he was like, it's like the Vince Scully, after he was 18 years old, 17 years old, he started broadcasting. And until he, 3-4 years right before he passed away. So he did it a long time too.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're ever going to get guys like these. You talking Vince Scully, Chick Hearns, Art LeBeau. Yeah, those guys, that's a dying breed. That's what they call it, a dying breed. So can you imagine having someone like I can't picture Howard Stern, 90-something years old.
You can? I can. I think he's Jewish. Look at the longevity of these Jews.
That is true.
Look at the longevity of these Jews. I'm pretty sure Ari Shafir is going to be doing comedy up until he's like 105.
Yeah.
Like I totally I can see that, but
possibly.
What about can you see Rogan doing it for another 50 years? How old is that guy right now? He's 50 something, right?
He's got to be in his mid to late 50s, right?
Yeah.
55, maybe 56. I don't know. I don't think so, but who knows? I don't know. I just said that there's not going to be anybody else like that, but I guess they can prove me wrong.
Yeah, I think he will go and for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they've tried to cancel him. They've tried to do all this stuff, misinformation.
They're slowing him down. He's taking down some of his shows on Spotify. I knew that was going to happen.
Absolutely.
Right when he signed that deal, it's like when Howard Stern signed to Sirius, he's like, nothing's going to change. And then everything slowly started changing, you know? So I knew that was going to happen with Joe Rogan. It would just happen fast. I thought it happened really quick. Because, I guess there's a lot of shows where he dropped the N-bomb or somebody on his show dropped the N-bomb, so they removed it.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm sure there's other things that he removed.
Wait, drop the what?
The N-bomb.
The N?
Yeah, the N-bomb.
Oh, I thought you said the M-bomb.
No.
I was like, what's the M-bomb? Am I missing something?
Excuse me
here?
while I refresh.
Am I missing something here, Fidel? But I got Fidel, dude. I don't think we did a proper hey, what's up? Thanks for coming out to the
that's right.
To the Mind Buzz studio, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've been been talking about this for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Getting you out here and doing the thing, but Fidel has his own podcast, which is a really good podcast.
Thank you. You
got again.
You got me out of retirement. I haven't recorded ever since end of May.
End of May.
End of May.
That's quite a while.
Yeah.
Have you done any other mediums like this?
No, podcast?
like apart from
since then, no.
Since then, really, dude,
No.
I'm excited.
No, I haven't.
I'm excited because now it's 2 podcasts and podcasters that I've taken out of retirement. First, it was Eddie from the Social Primate podcast. He hasn't been doing it for months.
Yeah.
And then now you.
But he's got something brewing, right?
He's got something brewing.
I wish I could say the same, but I don't.
Just that Bud Light over there. That's what's brewing right now.
Yeah. I wish I did. I really do. I miss podcasting, but I had the biggest fear of like when I stopped podcasting, I was like, I hope I don't not podcasting. And it's been really fun not having to podcast and produce my shows, because I do everything from booking the guests to advertising or marketing,
Yeah.
Everything I do just by myself, and it's a lot of work. And I know there's other people that do it themselves too, and they can list all the other things that they do on their side. But at some point, I had to prioritize my life, and I did. And podcasting, I had to put it like at 4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah. So I got to the point where I wasn't going to put any more effort to podcasting. So I'm like, let me just stop now. and let me just take a break, stop, and see if I can regroup and work on my time management and get it all going again.
Sometimes you have to do that. You have to, and that's wise. Like, not many people think that, like, oh, just because you're taking a break, you're quitting, or you're weak, or it takes a wise person and a person of knowledge to know when to stop, regroup, and then revisit it.
Yeah, we're still working on that. Okay. I'm still, I'm posting on Instagram. I'm still coming out with new merchandise. So shameless plug right here. This is a new shirt.
Shameless plug.
Have you read it? Where am I? Where's my camera? Right here?
You're right there. Oh. This one right here.
See that? It says Talking Again, #1 podcast that nobody listens to.
Oh, hey, that's cool. Okay.
Tap in. But no, it really is. I was podcasting and for what? 4 years now, since 2018, May of 2018. And it was going very well. And until I had a police officer, deputy to be exact. And he was talking all kinds of Trump stuff. And
what?
He was talking.
Really?
Defunding the police. Like, we were getting into it. Like, I just I don't filter anybody, in other words, right? I just let them talk. I made the mistake of, which I later found out that it doesn't matter because they pick up the audio anyways, YouTube. But I started hashtagging or using keywords of all the stuff that we were talking about, which is Trump, pro-Trump, XYZ. And all of a sudden, my views went from averaging about 200, views, 200 to 300 views. For someone that only has 300 subscribers, not too bad. And it just dropped to like 15, 20.
Whoa.
Just dropped. So like none of my keywords were working. Like no one could search for my podcast. It wasn't coming up on your notifications. If you followed me or you're subscribed to my show, you weren't getting a notification if you had a new episode, until people started asking like, hey, where's your show? Where's your show? Are you putting anything out? And I go, no, just click on it. You'll see it. And they would click and they see all my shows, but they never got the notification. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess it's called shadow ban.
Okay.
I'm not sure if
that's what the kids call it, right?
That's what the kids are calling it.
Francis, is that what the kids call it these days? Shadow ban? Yeah.
We're gonna fact check that. Well, I check it out. I sent a email to YouTube and explained to them, sent them screenshots of all this, and they said, we don't know what shadow ban is. We don't do that. Which if you research on Reddit groups and all that, shadow ban for sure exists. I mean, they shadow ban you on Instagram.
They probably have some like fancy white word that they call it, like we can Google that. Fancy word for shadow ban.
It wouldn't.
It's all the AI that they have working for them.
To be honest with you, for them, it doesn't make sense for them to even admit that they shadow ban people, because then it's taking away your freedom of speech, right?
Of course.
So even though it's people complain about it all the time, but I go, it's their it's YouTube's platform. They can do whatever they want. They're allowing you to post shit on there, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you really want to put your shit out there, hey, get a server, create your own, and even then, if you have your own server, they'll still find a way. They'll
find some way.
They'll still find a way.
Yeah.
So we really don't have freedom of speech unless you're really on top of a what do they call it? Like a box? What is it? Soapbox?
Yeah.
Stand on top of a soapbox with a microphone and you start screaming out your lungs. That's freedom of speech until you get arrested.
Yeah.
So, anyways, long story short, I think I'm shadow banned on YouTube. So I still post on there, but I don't get any views there.
Really?
The only time I'll get views is if I pay for them. So you can budget, what do you promote, like ads?
Yeah.
And you can budget that for your video, and you'll get a shit ton of views. But
really?
They're not legit. They're not real views.
Okay.
It's just people that click on it, and I think it's like after a minute, the view, it counts as a view.
Is that
I think that's what it is.
That's the minimum listen to get a view?
I think it's 1 minute.
Oh, that's not bad.
On YouTube, yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not too bad. But still, it's not genuine. Like if you look at the average time, if you have hour and a half video and average time is only 8 minutes, something's wrong there, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's times where I run through all the analytics. Like in my everyday normal human being Gilbert job, I look at numbers all day.
Yeah.
And when I do this, I don't want to. Like I can. Like some days I do. Some days don't No doubt about it. I run through the analytics. I run through the likes. I run through the comments and all that. But it's just, I don't do it often. I don't. It just keeps me going that I don't.
And that's smart because I'll tell you, once you start doing that, it takes away from your craft, what you like doing, when you start looking at these numbers, you're like, what's going on? How come I'm not getting the views that I was getting? And then you start getting sucked into like, well, maybe I'm not getting the right guess. I'm not getting, what does the podcaster say that will go unnamed? I'm not getting any heavy hitters.
All right, heavy hitters or killers.
Killers.
You're not getting killers, yeah.
So then you know it happens where you fall into this vortex of trying to look for people with numbers, right? That have high numbers, high subscribers, high followers, and you start putting them out there to see if you can get views, and even then that doesn't work, you know, because they have to promote their shit, which most of them don't. If they have all these views, they're not gonna help you out. They just don't do it.
Right. Oh, they don't?
No, not all. There's some that do. Like I know I had interviewed a girl that has her own business, a lingerie business, and she's like modeled, been on videos and stuff like that, and she has a lot of followers, and she promoted the shit out of her videos, and she got a lot of views. I mean, a lot of views. But then fast forward, you get someone with the same amount of followers that she has that doesn't promote it, and you get the same random view, 20, 30 views. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it makes a big difference when the other person sitting in front of you promotes it. It's like right here. If you have me on the show, if I don't go promote it, you're gonna see the difference. Like you might get an extra five more views if I promote it. You know, but no, I get maybe 30.
Okay,
maybe
there we go.
More views. When
I go back and look at the analytics, I'll send you.
But you know
email.
what? I recommend you not look at the analytics. Just keep doing your thing because you're having a nice, good flow of your show. I love listening to it.
Thank you, man.
I don't remember when I started listening to it, but I know we've been following each other for a while. But unlike other people, other podcasters, I don't have the 24 hours. I can't fit all those podcasts in and listen to all of them. I wish
Absolutely
I could.
Not.
But I do listen to like the ones that I do listen to, I try to get all of them. Like I have my go-tos, and I won't say them because people get jealous or not. Like, oh, how come you don't listen to mine? So
I will hold on. I will say this though, Whiskey J, Jaime, dude, it takes me like 3 to 4 days to get through one episode of the Rambling Alcoholics.
Oh, really?
It does, and at some point, like I haven't listened today, and the one that just came out today. But I think the last one that I listened to, it took me like 3-4 days. And then by the last 30 minutes, and I'm like...
Is it because of the time, or is it too much and overwhelming? And you just have to like...
Those guys overstimulate me. Like, especially Whiskey J. When he comes on this show, I'm just like... What is going on? No, not more than Jose. I don't think that will never... Jose, you will hold the place.
Yeah.
For that,
I still never
overstimulation.
I've never met Jose. I've never been in the same room as him.
No.
We've only.
He's a good time. He's really great. He's a good guy.
I had an opportunity to go meet with him, and something came up. I couldn't make it to one of the meetups that the Kickback Chris has. But,
shameless plug.
Yes. Chris from the Kickback podcast. Is that what they call it? Chris?
Yeah.
It's a good show. But I missed out on an opportunity of meeting Jose, which I really wanted to meet him, but I'm sure that day will come one day.
Yeah.
Just if I may, I just want to send out a quick little a prayer out to Jose's family that they're going through some shit right now. So I just wish you guys the best of luck, man. And anyways, but I wish I could meet him one day, and I know I will one day. I will meet him. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
because
he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, but I love having that conversation of going back and forth. Where like no, you're not. You're like not. You're wrong, but like why? Why do you think that way?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like because I know I don't think that way, but why do you think that way?
You guys have to do that on the Mind Bus, so we can. How about this? We can do that, and Ramos can sit here. You can sit there, or vice versa, and I'll be back there doing all the fact checking. And I will have Google. I will have Brave. What is it called? Brave or Hero downloaded?
I think you said it's called Brave.
It's Brave, right? I'll have Brave.
Because they don't use DuckDuck anymore, which I've never downloaded any of those. I just use Google for everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I think you said it's called Brave, the new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still got to get that.
What is it, like an add-on you have to put? Or
it's just probably another search. It's just another search
like
engine.
Bing? something like that.
Bing, like Firefox,
Yeah.
Internet Explorer. Yeah, it's just like that.
I don't know. To me, it's all gonna be fake, dude. Eventually, that just like DuckDuckGo, supposedly that was the way to go.
They got bought out. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
No,
We're all sheep in some way, right? Aren't we? We say we're not,
I think
but
so.
we are.
Yeah, I mean,
say we're not.
If you go by the general definition of what quote unquote sheep is, then if it's more than one person believing one certain, significant, information pathway, then yeah, because you have, it's you, right? You're following some ideology, and if it's somebody else follows the same ideology, then what do you say to that? Like that's just the generalized,
There's a lot of people that have made money off of being a contrarian, and then there's one that's just like a super contrarian, and you get all these other people just following the same suit, and now you got a whole bunch of sheep right there.
Yeah.
And this guy that started it all, he got it from someone else. It's just like the same books that you have here. Like you read a book and you're like, fuck, that's a nice ideology. I'm going to start going off of that. Right. But you read it off of something else. It's just any kind of literature, like the Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a trip. The way that's why I always go with what I'm going at the flow of the moment. And I do plan for shit, but for the most part, I just kind of live in that moment. I try to.
Yeah.
As much as I can,
No,
and I try to teach the kids that too, like, because I got 2 boys, and I know there's a lot of shit going on out there, a lot of information all over in the internet. They got a cell phone, tablets, and they're looking at all kinds of shit, but I can't control that. I can control it in my house, in my household.
Yeah.
And I can teach them some of my stuff, right? What I'm thinking about. Then I tell them, like, you have your own, you can gather and make your own thoughts. But let me show you that there's consequences to those actions too.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing right or wrong, but I'm doing me.
Right.
And it works when you have a partner at home that, works with you.
Absolutely.
We work together at that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing, dude. You made the first, like one of your first comments about what you said was that you can't control.
Yeah.
What is happening outside of you or yourself or your family or your household, because you can't. And some people really get riled up about other people's actions, but at the end of the day, it's somebody else's actions. The only way that what you're able to do is to respond to what their actions are, or to react to what those actions are. And sometimes when we react to certain things, it's in a negative light. And when we respond to things, that means that we're taking in from our environment, but we're thinking about what we're taking in, and we give out what we think is the best solution or what we think about that event.
Yeah, I usually try to, when I get new information or any kind of information, I'll try to go home, analyze it, maybe let it process a little bit until I can make a decision. Even sometimes with my kids, like, there's times when I'll blow up on them right away when they do something stupid, and I'm like, all right, that didn't really work. It didn't help anybody out because everybody's now fucking frustrated and just panic at home. So sometimes it does help, and I've taken this and to practice, and it helps to just take a break. And I go, hey man, I tell them, hey, you fucked up, right? Just chill. We'll talk in the morning, and we'll reconnect, and we'll see what happens. And a lot of times, I'll be honest with you, I sleep through it, and it wasn't even that bad. That in the morning, it's like, fuck it, it just went away.
Yeah,
because it wasn't that bad. But as parents, you think like, dude, it's the end of the world. Like you're not getting it, dude.
Yeah.
And then you realize like, oh, they're only 10 or they're only 11 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you're hoping that they make decisions like a 25, 30-year-old.
Right.
Well, like a 40-year-old,
Right.
But the fact is that they're only 10, they're only 12. Or in my case, I have a freaking 3-year-old that I'm like, come on, man, get it together.
Get it together. Let me check out your resume, because you need to get out here and get a job already.
I tell you on LinkedIn yet? Come on.
Yeah.
But no, it's like no one ever taught us how to be parents. Like you look at your parents and you see what they did, and
nobody does.
And then you're like, you know what, man, they fucked up. My parents fucked up with me. Which in hindsight, when I think about it, like they really did a great job. My parents took us out of the ghetto. My dad worked like crazy. My mom was working side jobs just so that we can survive in a nice area we didn't go out. Like when we went to In-N-Out or Burger King, which Burger King is shit, but when we went to Burger King, it was like a surprise. Like it was a gift. It was like an award, you know. We went to go take the recycle. Now we have extra cash. Let's go eat a pizza, rent some movies.
Wow.
I grew up on watching Channel 22 movies, you know, like
22
Spanish movies, you know, like Black and White, Vicente Fernandez and shit like that. Pepe Aguilar, like Antonio Aguilar. Pepe's his son.
There you
go. So I grew up on that, you know, because we didn't have those luxuries of taking trips. We would go camping, but that was like the cheapest thing for them, you know, like they go in, park for $6.
Sleep outside. Yeah, let's do it. Bring
some sandwiches and
bring pillows, bring a blanket.
So,
you go.
Anyways, I don't know. Enough for parenting 101.
Right.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Actually, I'm glad the camera's working. I'm glad that dude, I'm glad that you're here, man.
Oh man, I'm happy to be here. I'm telling you, it's been a long time since I recorded, and I miss podcasting. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm still, you know, it still comes off okay.
Yeah, you're conveying the message really well, and you're throwing me off because you're not wearing the headphones, but it's fine.
It got really hot in here, dude. So I'm like, I gotta take these fucking things off. I hope you sanitize these. I was sweating all over these headphones.
I'll sanitize them before the next guy or girl that comes on.
But no, thanks for having me again. You know, this is awesome. I love talking. And that's why I started podcasting, because I love talking. I love asking questions. And yeah, you know, again, we were talking about the politics of podcasting, like trying to stay away from all that shit. And it's easy to get sucked into all that.
It's fun.
And you know what's another thing is like,
sorry. This is a thing, because
what's fun about it, the politics.
What people don't know, right? It's funny because the people that have started an Mind Buzz community, right? They only know who I am 1 hour, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that has known me all the way up until 2020, 21, when I first started the podcast.
Yeah.
And have listened to my content and the stuff that I post, understand, because I'm more than that. I'm more than 3 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and when I say by fun, I'm not necessarily saying that like the politic aspect is fun. I'm saying that the content is fun to play around with.
Yes.
And I'm a very playful person. I'm a goofball. I'm a prankster. I like pranks. I just like genuinely seeing people surprised, whether it's it makes them laugh, or it brings out an emotion in them. Then I've done my job.
How far away is the host of the Mind Buzz, Gill, to Gill when he wakes up in the morning and goes about his day to work?
I don't know. Francis, what do you think? You know me pretty
Francis
well, right?
Is a producer in the back.
Yeah.
What do you think? Give a percentage of who I am behind the mic.
Gill, or does he turn it on? Does he turn it off?
What do you think?
Like 95%.
There we go. That's pretty good.
Wow, that is good.
That's really good.
I'll tell you, I would listen to your show and I go, is this the same guy? Like, is he like this all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does he wake up just like look? Because it really seems like you just love life. You're living it. You're loving life.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, this is really awesome. You don't sound like anybody that's negative ever. I don't think I've ever heard you like in a negative tone. Yeah.
Really?
No. I mean, I've listened to.
How long have you listened to this podcast for?
I didn't listen to your early ones. I'll tell you that for sure right now. I listened to any of your early ones, but like recently, right? I would say like at least 20 to 25 episodes that I've heard.
Okay.
Consistently. So now I'm on you're on my top 5. So top 5 MySpace.
Sweet.
No, actually it's a top 8 now. So it's a
top 8.
But you're on my top 8, and yeah, I've never heard you like negative in any way. You know, question things, but who doesn't? And it's everything's always like fun, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered that, like, hey, is this the same guy?
That's how I live my life. Honestly, that's how I live, like, fun. Like, I try. And there's some days, there's some months where I'm just like God, is this like I'm just like the like fucking Red from that one show, old show. I can't remember.
Or show?
No,
You talking about Frank Mumford and Sons?
yeah, no, not Mumford.
Is it not
That's the
Mumford?
band.
Oh, Mumford is a band.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The black
Somebody's listening to this and yelling at us right now.
Well, we have the Googler.
Yes, there we go. So Redmond, not Redmond. Who's it? I have like so many of his.
No, Redford and Sons. No,
Red, just Red.
Yeah, Red.
Double D.
Just put and Sons. Red.
And Sons. Red Fox. There we go. It's Red Fox.
His name, right?
Yeah. Put Red Fox movie or show. Show. There we go. It can't be the Red Fox show. It can't.
No.
Oh, there we go. Sanford and Son.
Oh, Stanford. Well, I was way off. Mumford. That's the band you said. Right?
That's the band, dude. But what does he say? He's like, Lord heaven above. Like he always talks to his wife because his wife died.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he was like, oh, is this the day that I'm coming to see you or whatever? Right? I'm not like that. Some days I'm like that. I'm just like, Mom, Dad, I'm gonna, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Your son's coming home. Your son's coming home. But I'm just not like. Some days I am. Some days I'm anybody is. Yeah. If you're a human being and you feel things, then of course some days you're gonna feel like that.
Well, it's like you said, though. We only see you those 3 hours a week.
3 hours a week.
So, yes, we'll have a certain thought of, like, there's certain podcasts, I'll tell you right now, like Jaime, right? Like Jaime of Whiskey J, of the Rambling Alcoholics. Like, I feel he turns it on. I'm like, this guy cannot be... Jose, I believe that fool's like that all the time. But like Whiskey J, I feel he'll turn it on for the show, when he hits record. Because I've been with him, like before we record, and he's chill, just setting up, not accelerated at all. He's just chill.
But he's Jaime at that point.
Yeah, he's Jaime. But when he's Whiskey J, then he turns it up.
Right.
Where I don't know if I've ever had that either. Like I think there's times when I start talking, I get that deep voice. Mm-hmm. I'm really chill. I start talking, and then after I start getting comfortable, I get that high Mexican voice.
Yeah.
Like that's me. It's sometimes that's just how I am. So I'm like that at a party. If I go to a party that I don't know anybody there, I start off real chill. I'm relaxed. Once I get comfortable and I start meeting people and I start talking to them, then I relax and I get comfortable and I start talking like my normal self. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So am I putting up a front? No, that's just how I am. I start off very slow, gradual, right? But in my everyday, I feel like I'm the same podcaster. Okay. I ask questions a lot during the day. Like I talk to people. I'm the guy that says, hey, good morning. How you doing? And then if they don't say anything, I go, well, maybe that person didn't want to talk. But if they do want to talk, I'll stop and I'll listen to them and I'll let them finish how their day is going. And I've had that happen to me.
It's funny that you say that because, I didn't really I've always been inquisitive, but I've never shared my inquisitiveness with somebody else. Yeah. Meaning, like, I've always questioned things in my mind, and was always too embarrassed to ask. Right? Didn't matter if I knew the person or if I didn't know the person. Yeah. Now that I'm finding out that asking questions it's not a bad thing. Now that I've moved, I've learned that like over the 2 years of doing this, like asking questions is not a bad thing.
But are you doing that on your personal life now? When you're out on the street and talking to people?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, like questioning stuff or, just making a comment, whether it be, a good comment or could be a bad comment. I'm not really rude to people unless they deserve it. Yeah. But sometimes, stuff happens where it's just like a quick remark and, I just blast out with something absurd or I'm trying to be comical and the other person doesn't receive it in that light. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's just basically after podcasting, moving into my personal life, I've opened up to, how it really is to communicate certain things during, with voice or like with, pranks or, jokes or something.
I think that's happened a lot with a lot of kids nowadays, like YouTubers. Let's just say YouTubers. There's a lot of kids that have grown up filming, have with the channel. Maybe they only have 5 people viewing it and it's all their cousins and shit, but they're comfortable in front of a mic, talking in front of a mic to where now they're out in the street and they're comfortable talking to people. And that helps a lot. Like my son's been, I think he's been in 3 or 4 of my episodes, and he's always been quiet and he still is kind of reserved. But if you start talking to him out there and we're out and about and I go, this is my friend Gill, and then you start talking, he'll have a conversation with you. The guy's he's very intuitive, right? He can start talking and just go on and on, but he won't start it. He's like me, he won't start a conversation. Actually, I take that back. I will start a conversation.
Okay.
He's more like his mom that won't start the conversation, but once started, he can go on and on and on, especially if you're talking something that interests him.
Right.
But going back to you had mentioned something about.
And the thing is, like, I on the podcast, I can talk about like cannabis and LSD and stuff. In normal day life, I don't think if I bring out a conversation starting with psychedelic mushrooms, somebody's gonna want to engage. I think that's
why you haven't started that kind of conversation.
That was a bad joke. I was trying to get to that, but because you said like if there's something that is interesting that somebody would talk about, then you can conversate in normal life about that. What I'm saying is like I was trying to shorten my interest into just psychedelics and weed to where you can't really start a conversation about psychedelics and weed with somebody else.
I think nowadays you can. Yeah, I think there's people that are a lot more open to that.
Yeah.
So I know that you're trying to be funny, but I really do think that people are more open to it. Where, let's just say you throw it out there, you're being Gill, you're yourself,
right?
And if someone doesn't like it and they're like, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable right now, and I don't want to have this conversation,"
but most people won't say that.
They'll just walk away, or they'll stay there with the dumb.
They'll just look at you, and be like, "Really, dude?"
But that's fine because now you what you did there is by you being yourself,
right?
You just avoided months.
There we go.
Years of like trying to figure out who this person is and if they're cool with talking about this. Now you know off the bat, dude, they're not cool with me talking about.
Hey, that's a good point, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Right. So if you start off with somebody that you never met to be yourself, oh,
exactly.
Wow.
And that's why it's always best to do it now. Now you're not going to talk about like putting your finger up somebody's butthole or anything like that because that's a little inappropriate. But at the same time, you will get the outcome that you want.
There's a place and time for fingers and stuff like that.
But I know you had. I don't want to lose my train of thought because you were talking about like people doing like weird shit out and about or whatever. I'm not even sure where you're at, but it brought a very short memory of what happened when I went to go buy these beers down here in Pomona. Someone, the homeless dudes, not homeless. I don't even know if they're homeless, but drug addicts.
We call them transients now, right? Yes, right. Lopez Avila.
So there's transients over here, and motherfuckers opening the door as everybody's walking in. I'm like, oh great, I've seen this before. So I feel like I'm in Mexico when they're opening the door and they want a tip, right?
Okay.
So I walk in. And dude opens the door. I walk inside. Other guy in the corner. Hey, you have any money? I go, no, I don't carry cash. Go inside, get my beer. Come outside. Well, they open the door for me. Hey, thank you very much. And the guy goes, thanks. I was looking for something else. Mm-hmm. That's what he says. He kind of mumbles in. He says that as I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Now I could have stayed there and go, what the fuck did you just say? And then started this,
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, okay, I see that motherfucker on the other side, right? Mm-hmm. Who knows who the hell's behind me? So I just let me just stop there and go. I just winked at him, gave him the peace sign, and drove out the fucking way, right? But the younger me would have started something. I would have gone over there and said, oh, what the fuck did you just say? Excuse me? I didn't ask you to open the fucking door. You just opened the fucking door. You know what I mean? But I was at that point, you get to a certain age where you're just like, peace. That's all I do with my driving. Like before, same thing with my driving. I'd be like, fuck, okay, incident. Mm-hmm. Really bad. Driving down the freeway. No, it was actually the street. And this lady just, whatever, she got so pissed off and she went to the side of me and started like yelling and flipping me off. And then you know how you can see your peripheral vision. You can see this lady just fucking, doing something. And she's just right here. And I go, you can see her keep going. So I knew she was mad and she was flipping me off. So I turned around and I gave her the peace sign. But I was okay. I was younger. I was about 23 years old.
Okay.
So I gave her the peace sign. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, I decided to just go. So you know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So I just fucking all day long. And the lady just fucking stopped. And I just kept going. I told my wife about that. And she's like, why'd you do that? She was my girlfriend back then. So she's like, why'd you do that? I go, I have no idea why I did it. But I know now, after I did that I know that she went home thinking, can you believe what this motherfucker did to me? And I guarantee you she's telling that story today, just like I am. So that was me back then. Now, if someone does that to me, I just keep fucking driving. I don't have time for that. I'm too old for that shit. Just keep fucking driving. I don't even look. I might give him a little glance, but for the most part, just fucking keep driving.
Right.
I don't care. You know, God bless you. Hopefully you're all right. Hopefully you make it safe to where you need to get to. You're obviously in a more hurry than I am.
Yeah.
I just chill, you know? So maybe that's just me getting older now or wiser, but
I'm at the point where like I get that like you're at the point where you're just like I'm not gonna deal with that, versus the other side of you at younger side, right?
How old are you?
Where you were we'll get that to in a minute.
Okay.
Whether you're like you know, like you're ready to punch the guy, right? think I'm at the middle where I'm just like, I hope this person runs out of gas on the freeway.
Yeah.
But I'm 31.
31. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I am. I'm 31, right? For a couple of weeks, I was saying that I was going to be 32.
Yeah.
Right, this year?
I think I said I was 42. I'm not 42 yet. I'm not 42 yet, but I think I said I was 42 earlier, right? I don't know. I think it's safe to say I'm 40 something.
Mm-hmm.
So
can I? Is it only the 40s where you're able to say I'm 40 something versus?
So. I think so.
So it can be 30s.
No, I think right now you still have to say exact age.
Really?
Yeah. After you're 40, when shit starts breaking down, I think it's safe to say that you're 40 something.
Can I say I'm like 136 months?
I think that's okay.
Can we let's look that up? I want to see how many.
Stop it! You know.
I don't. What did I say right now?
136.
Okay, 136. Let's see if I'm close. It's not. It's not close.
I don't know because 144 is wait. It's not even close because that's 12 years. 144 is 12 years.
I'm 13 years old.
You're like 3,000 or something. I don't know.
103 in years. Oh, yeah, 11. Dude, that was good math. That was really good math. Okay, so how old am I in months? 31.
So
how much is 31 months?
So you got to be like almost 400 months old.
Right, so go to the, how would you even, or go calendar year, put 31?
I love these mason jars right here.
They're cool, right?
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Salud.
Well,
cheers.
We got to,
you got cups now?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm barely getting to it, but once we get the thing, I want to show everybody. See what this is actually a prototype.
Oh, okay.
Of a glass.
It's like this shirt.
There we go. Yeah, see.
Available on Talking Again podcast, Instagram.
Link down in the show description. So I'm 372 months.
I was close. You said 400. Okay, 372. There you go.
I was way off. What did I say? 120?
136. You said
that was bad. That was bad. Okay. 372 months.
You can say you're 372 months old.
There you go.
I think that's okay.
Which I'm gonna say. So I'm 372 months old.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So you're starting to get wiser now. You know, you're in the transition.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
You're in the transition, but you're well beyond. I think those years. Like you know, you don't think like a 31-year-old was thinking. I don't think I was thinking like that. I think I was still being a little mañoso at 31.
And the thing is, I think I'm like as I'm getting older, I'm learning to become I'm realizing how my personality is, and whether I like it or not, and knowing that I have the power to change my personality, knowing the power that I have the power to change my future, to change how I treat people, to change my behavior. So I've been fortunate to understand that about myself.
Do you believe in that little theory that Joe Rogan has talked about, where a person's mind isn't fully developed till the age of 25, something like that? I think he said something like that before.
He does.
At 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is funny.
Can we Google? We need to Google that because I'm not gonna. Joe Rogan has said that he's an idiot more than 1,000 times on his podcast in one episode. So I'm gonna tend to believe that.
Well, I think I would say this is the reason why. Because my parents scared the shit out of me about drugs, right? Okay. Don't do drugs, none of that shit. Alcohol is okay.
Right.
Don't do drugs. Well, actually, it's not okay. It's not okay, but they were okay with me drinking instead of doing like drugs. And I'm talking about drugs, I'm talking about just marijuana. And, there's obviously way more drugs that I could have, messed with, but I didn't.
Absolutely.
So the whole rule was at their house. If you're under my rule, in my house, it's my rules. So absolutely no tattoos and no drugs. So I did that. I respected them. I'm a little old school like that. I never did any drugs while I was under their house, under their roof, and no tattoos. And after 25, I got my own place, and my wife, we moved in together, we bought a house. I never got a tattoo. I still to this day don't have a tattoo. I'm 42 years old, 41, whatever, 40 something.
Wait, you were 22 when you got a house?
25.
That fucking blows my mind, 25.
Dude. Why?
That just blows my mind. Francis, has any of your friends, I think it's a generational thing.
Took too long?
No.
Most kids leave at 18?
Dude, did any of your friends have a house at 25? Like just our generation?
I think it's harder for you guys. I think it was harder for you to buy a house okay, you're 31, so let's go right back, 6-7 years, right?
Yeah.
6-7 years was 2014, 15?
I'm bad at math. I thought I was 136 months.
I'm trying to think how the market was at 2015. Right. 2015, the houses were pretty high. I think if anything at 2009, that's when all these people were buying in 2009 because of the short sale, because of the housing market that crashed. But anyways, I bought that. We bought it because we were able to, and I always had this. How
25. That's just. I'm thinking now that I'm 30 years old and thinking of somebody buying a house at 25. Of course, it's
right
possible.
Now you can't.
Right? No, but I'm just saying, like, just in my experience, like that's just. It blows my mind. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not trying to blow smoke up my ass or anything, but it was a double income home,
But still,
my wife was working. I was working. She had a great job. I had a great job. We're making really.
But
good
even
money.
by 25 years old, I mean, most people are not even out of their house yet.
Yeah,
out of their parents' house yet, or their guardian's house yet. Right. So it's just and then again, it's just evolution, and it's just the progression of generations and how the market is.
The market has a lot to do with it. But I think if anybody sets their mind to doing something, they're going to accomplish it no matter what, at whatever means it's possible. I'll tell you what, right now, I'm not embarrassed to say it. When we bought that house, it was the worst time to buy a house. Mm-hmm. The worst time to buy a house. We didn't forecast the market to crash and that we were going to lose all this money. Like I lost a lot of money buying that house, that first one. But I survived. I'm on my third house now. I'm 40-something years old, third house. But we didn't allow that to just crush us. We figured out a way to, because I'm like, once you got a house, your own house, you never want to rent or never want to move in with anybody. So you figure out a way to do it. And we did. We figured out a way to get that second home and then flip that fucker and get the third one. So now we're okay, But at 25, we really just bought because we thought that's what we had to do. Mm-hmm. We thought we had to, my whole thing was, I'm going to propose to her. I'm going to buy the house and then I'm going to get married. That was always our plan. And we did it. And then I said, in 5 years, we'll have a baby. Mm-hmm. It was 3 years.
Right.
But we had a baby. So everything was just planned. Boom, boom. That's why when people would say, you're 25 years old and you don't have any kids. And I go, what kind of question is that? But that was the common question that we had. You're 25 years old and you don't have any kids. And I would always answer, it's by design. By design, because that's just that wasn't the plan. The plan was always, like I just said, it was get engaged, buy the house, and then get married, and then have a kid. That was always the plan, and we did it. Was it smart? I don't know. Was it the right thing to do? Right. I love my kids. I love the house. I love my wife. But we ended up losing a lot of money on that first home because it was at its highest. Like right now, where the houses are at their highest. They're slowly starting to decrease. But people that are buying houses right now, it's insane because they're not going to go any higher. You're not going to make any money for at least 10 years, is what they say.
Right.
So going back to it, did we make the right decision? I don't know, but we made it.
Yeah.
And we dealt with all those consequences that we dealt with, and we were able to survive. I don't even know what the fucking point was.
Sorry to derail you. That was me, but you were talking about how the 25-year-old question, the 25-year-old brain.
The weed and all the tattoos and all that shit.
Right.
Thank you.
Which I have, and I love
You're
weed.
a good host for getting us back into that. At 25 is when I first got high. That was the first time I smoked this bong. It was pretty big. It was
I have one in the back. You want to take a
no,
look
I'm
at
good.
it?
Thank you. But thanks for asking. It was probably like I think it was a 3-footer.
Okay, I got a 3-footer. You want to see it?
No, I'm good.
I just want to show people my bong.
Shows your bong. Man. Shows your bong. We'll wrap the show over.
Yeah.
No, so I had my buddy, all right, this is something crazy, but my buddy was on a podcast too, so if I send it to you, you can check it out, and you can listen for Ignacio, or we call him Nacho. But every time I listen to your podcast, I hear him, his voice.
Really?
Everything, dude, everything. Like, even you guys is like, the way you guys laugh, like the way you just kind of like chuckle, you're like, everything is Nacho, my buddy Nacho. Just
Really?
that laugh right there. Like, that's buddy.
Awesome.
That's my buddy Nacho, right?
Uh-huh.
So, and anyways, this guy, I called him over. I go, bro, I want to get high. It's my house. We're fucking good. Like, we're good. We're all going to do it. So, yeah, it was our first experience, right? It was 3 of us that were popping our cherry. My wife, her best friend, myself, and then he was the one, our what do you call it? Our shaman.
Yeah, there we go.
and he came in and he's like, all right, let's do it. And yeah, we just got shit faced. I was pretty good. Like, I'm all right. I was drinking at the same time, but I was good. My wife, on the other hand, and her friend were not.
Really?
They're lightweights, about $110 each, So they just got really high. Like, it got really bad. But going back to it, at 25, I felt that was the time that I could make that decision. I knew where I was at in life. I knew that I can do it. Responsibility wise, I was okay. Having not having control of my body, I was okay with it because I was at my house. It was controlled environment. Right. You know what I mean? But that was me at 25. So when Joe Rogan said that, I took it as I was right because he's right. Even though I don't know if he's right because I don't know if we looked it up or not. But at 25, I've been saying this ever since then. At 25 is when you make that decision, So now I know kids are getting high way before that in high school because I went to school there. Kids are getting high, but I really believe that at 25 your brain is fully developed and you're able to make that decision where you're not gonna get a stupid drug out there like right now, especially right now with this fentanyl going on.
Yeah, it's weird.
You don't know what you're taking.
Yeah, you don't.
You just start popping in. I know you're someone that likes to experience, but I feel like you're probably more responsible.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of kids out there that aren't.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
It's scary.
And that, yes, it hit really close to home because I had someone, my nephew that died of fentanyl.
Oh wow!
So we found out that
sorry to hear that, man.
And it was fentanyl. So it's just one of those things where education, educate, talk to your kids. But I know there was a time where you could experience with drugs and it was cool, but I think now it's just way too dangerous. It's just way too dangerous to experience for these kids, At 25, I feel like, okay, now you can make a more, cognitive decision. The fucking light's kicking in. You can make that decision.
Cognitive decision.
There you go. Cognitive decision.
I get the funny thing about me is I get smarter when I drink and when I smoke weed.
I don't. I fucking slosh it up. But I think at 25 you can make that decision a little bit more clear. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think there's ever going to be any kind of law that's going to be passed about being able to do drugs at 25, legal drugs at 25, or because I feel eventually we're going to get to the point where a lot of these hallucinogen drugs are going to be pretty legal, They're
getting close.
Mushrooms probably going to be legal.
Getting close. They're starting already decriminalization, at least on the west side, like Portland, Oregon, is Washington. I don't think Washington. There's a couple of large major cities in Northern California, San Jose, Oakland. Anything around in the L area, no, I think that's up in November to vote on that. But like Denver decriminalized psilocybin. New Jersey
too. Whoa.
as always, they just decriminalized their stuff in a few months back.
Yeah.
But now I think it's going to get a heck of a lot easier now that Biden has pardoned, thousands of prisoners for federal drug offenses.
That's something that has been on the works for a long time. People have been advocating for something like that.
Yeah.
I think, not to bring the show down, but I think that's going to just crush our society.
Like, you think so?
Do you remember the last time that they let out a whole bunch of prisoners out?
I don't.
That was when we had all these riots during the George Floyd. And everybody was rioting. So I kind of see something like that happening again. It's election time. It's coming around.
But I think that, they would have measures. They would have measures. Like, I get it if it's just once somebody having a maybe 1975 going to prison for one joint. And that's the only criminal background that they have. In and out of prison, I don't think it would be somebody like that. But if it's like somebody that went to prison in like 1975 for a joint and continued to still have violent crimes associated with them in prison, I don't think they're going to let them out.
I hope not, because if that is the case, and that's what I was going to get to, is rehabilitation, right? I hope that they're going to start providing some kind of help for these people that are let out.
Yeah.
Imagine you're in jail for 5 years, just 5 years in jail, for weed. You know what I mean? And then coming out, like the psyche is not the same. So I really do hope that there's help for them. So it's not just about opening up the floodgates of hell, right? It's let's help them out.
Right.
So I don't know if they've planned for any of that. You know what I mean? I wish I knew more about it. I'm slowly starting to read a little bit more into politics and seeing what these measures are and what everything's going on. Because I want to know, I want to be informed. You know what I mean? And when my kid asks me something, I want to be able to tell him.
Yeah.
But this one, I don't know. I maybe you know more than I do, but
I don't.
Are there programs for them out there? I'm sure that they say there are. But are they taking them? Are we making them take it?
I think that's part of the whole bill, right? We should look at that bill and to see what it entails. Like,
I wonder, is that one of the bills that we'll be voting for in November?
I think he already pardoned.
Well, no, I know he pardoned, or he's doing that. But
it's Joe Biden pardons prisoners. 46 president. He's old too. He's like 79. He's 80.
He might be more than that. Or he looks like he's like 97.
All right. Imagine Joe Biden becomes the new Art LeBeau.
Art LeBeau looked way better than Joe Biden. Art LeBeau looked way better than Joe Biden did.
He did. Throw enter on that. Joe Biden pardons prisoners. There we go. Yeah, just the marijuana pardons in the U.S. Slap in the face. Wiz Khalifa applauds Joe Biden pardoning. I kind of want to look on to see like what the measures, like what's the measures that they're gonna take, like about the policy. Like, I get it that he pardons thousands of convicted marijuana users, but I want to see what it's just simple possessions. What would it be, Biden? Yeah, let's select one of those, or just put Joe Biden pardons prisoners, measures, preventative measures. There we go. Would be that. Preventative.
Some
measures.
people might think that this is just a ploy for, for his candidacy.
Yeah, but I don't see thousands of stoners running to the polls to vote.
I don't know. Well, I mean,
but
they wouldn't be able to vote.
They would exactly, because some of them,
but their friends and family would be able to, and Wiz Khalifa will be able to advocate for him.
True. No, you got that point. But I don't... I mean, do you think that it's just a ploy just to get more votes for the elections?
99%.
30 days before election. No, are we voting?
No, it's November,
in November?
Right?
Yeah. I thought next month was September for some reason. September was last month.
Yeah, we're October.
There we go. Biden, would it be that one? A proclamation? Let's look at that one and see. Acting pursuant to the grant of authority in Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, do hereby grant a full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all current United States citizens and lawful permanent residents who committed the offense of simple possession of marijuana in violation of the Controlled Substances Act, as currently confined at 21 U.S.C. 844 and as previously confined elsewhere in the United States Code or in violation of D.C. Code 48-904.01 D, is that one, on or before the date of his proclamation. I'm reading this whole thing, regardless of whether they have been charged with. I feel like this is a run-on sentence. Have been charged with or prosecuted for his offense on or before the date of his proclamation. This proclamation. Oh, so anything before that. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to rewrite the laws for the Substance Act.
Yes.
All current United States citizens and lawful permanent residents who have been convicted of the offense of simple possession of marijuana in the violation of the Controlled Substances Act, as currently confined at 21 U.S.C. 844 and as previously confined elsewhere in the United States Code or in violation of D.C. Code 48-904.01, which pardon shall restore to them fully political, civil, and other rights. Okay, so are they allowed to vote? Because it says which pardons them, it restores them full political, civil, and other rights.
There you go. So there's a reason why all this stuff. See now, so then that answers your question. Did he do it, or the one that I just said?
Right.
Did he do it for other reasons? Was it really just because we messed up years and years ago, or I want to vote?
Is there a speech that he like do any like?
I'm sure he did something. Yeah, I'm sure he's.
Can we look for that? Just put Biden on.
Biden's speech on
prisoners,
on marijuana pardon.
Yeah. Or what's her name did, right?
Who?
Kamala.
Oh yeah.
Even though she put probably 99.9% of them in prison.
Yep.
You see that meme? That meme where she looks like she's just hanging out, all frustrated, and it says when your running mate pardons all the people that you just put in prison, or something like that. There's no video in there. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is at that first one right there. 3 days ago, India today.
As I said when I ran for president, no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana. It's already legal in many states, and criminal records for marijuana possession have led to needless barriers to employment, to housing, to educational opportunities. And that's before you address the racial disparities around who suffers the consequences. While white and black and brown people use marijuana at similar rates, black and brown people are arrested, prosecuted, and convicted at disproportionately higher rates. So
I like how we've
3 steps to end this failed approach.
There we go.
First, I'm announcing a pardon for all prior federal offenses for the simple possession of marijuana.
That's key.
There are thousands of people who are convicted for marijuana possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result of that conviction. My pardon will remove this burden on them. Second, I'm calling on all governors to do the same for state marijuana possession offenses. Third,
so this is have to approve. The state has to approve
marijuana as a Schedule I substance. the same as heroin and LSD, and more serious than fentanyl. It makes no sense. So I'm asking the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the Attorney General to initiate a process to review how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. Even as federal and local regulations of marijuana change, important limitations on trafficking, marketing, and underage sales should stay in place. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. It's time that we right
these wrongs is what he was going to say.
Yeah.
But see, so then that means people that are incarcerated for a state crime are still going to be in jail.
Yeah, it's only federal, and I think it goes up to the state to whether they want to pardon that person or not.
So then, is it safe to say that a lot of these red states are not going to approve it, are not going to go through with it? The blue ones are, the red aren't, because it's all political. This is all political. There's nothing that's done out of the kindness of my heart.
Right, but it could be that maybe a red state would just go along to. I mean, I don't know. Politics is not my strong suit.
Neither is mine, but I'm starting to read a little bit more into it, and nothing is done. There's always something. There's always a pocket that's getting deep and stuffed.
Right.
Whatever terminology they want to use, but there's always a backhanded shake, deal going on.
I mean, is there really?
There's always a deal going on. Even if you look locally, I swear, dude, I challenge you to just go to your Chino council and just check them all out. Start reading it and go on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube. Their meetings are on there, and it gets crazy. There's very few individuals that are at the council meetings because they have the time to be there. And they're challenging all these people up there. Why are you guys making these kinds of decisions? Well, really? Because, benefits them.
That's cool.
They're making deals.
I got to try that.
Seriously.
That's something I would do.
I listen to all of them, dude.
Do you really?
They're like 2 or 3 hours long, and I watch or listen to all of them, yeah.
On the ones on Chino?
No. It doesn't interest me. West Covina. I'm in West Covina. So
okay.
They get, it's interesting. For me, it's my entertainment, but I'm also getting educated on my city. That's where I pay taxes.
Yeah. So
I want to know where my tax money is going. And I try to get informed as much as I can. And
what's the newest for West Covina?
The newest right now is, it's the oldest and the newest. It's they're always talking about the landfill. There was a big landfill. It's BLK. I think it's called BLK. You familiar with it or no?
No. Francis, are you familiar with that? The landfill out there?
It used to be out there.
No.
So we had a landfill in West Covina up in, so you guys all know where BLD is at? The Big League Dreams in West Covina? Yeah. Formerly BLD. Now it's called the Sportsplex, West Covina Sportsplex. But it used to be the BLD. Well, behind that, BLD and behind it, and now there's a Home Depot next to it, was all landfill. So it has all these I don't know what they call it. I forgot what they call it, but it's all this shit that's coming up from the earth because, it's landfill that's not good for you.
Right.
So all these toxins that are coming up. And the city that's running there right now, the council men and women are trying to build a hotel. But it's not safe to live there. So why are you going to try to build a hotel?
Right.
So it's just they keep prolonging this thing over and over and over where people are suggesting, hey, why don't you start building solar plants over there? No one has to be around there. It's a solar, we get sun like crazy over there. Start building that and using that as energy. They're trying to vote out of it because they want what? Real estate. They're building right now. West Covina is building like crazy. Apartments, housing, condos, everything. They're just building up. Like in China, Tokyo.
Right,
Japan, they build up.
Right.
Everything's all. So that's what it is. Our council right now is just they're all more realtors. They're trying to make money.
Yeah.
Deepening their pockets. That's all it is. So until you start getting people like, I'm not, and by no means am I trying to run for politics or anything like.
All right, this is Fidel's first commercial out in the ether for him running for office in West Covina. So
by no means, but I do.
Mindbuzz supports this message.
I appreciate your support. I think we need to start thinking about our youth, man. We took away all of our parks. I remember growing up being able to just walk over to the school. elementary school next to me, walk over there and play ball. It's all gated up. I can't walk in there. And the reason why they did it was for safety of our children. Our children aren't there after 6, you know? So now all these kids are out there on the streets. You know, the ones that have their parents that are able to take their kids out to a park that's open to the public, we can. But there's a lot of parents that are working evenings, 2 jobs, second shifts. Their kids are roaming the streets. Those are the same kids that are out there. What are we calling them now? Transients?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the same kids over there because they didn't have their parks to play in.
Yeah.
So if we start opening up these parks and letting these kids play, I mean, I ran a little league, or I helped run a little league for many years, and I had kids jumping over the fence when I was there, and I would always tell them, like, please don't jump over the fence. Ask me, I'll let you in. Wow, you know, they say that we're not supposed to be in here. You're not supposed to be in here, but I'd rather you be in here than be out there. I'd rather you be here playing for hours playing baseball than be out on the streets. So if you see me, I'll let you in. I just that I have to lock you before I leave, so now you have to jump out. But don't fuck up my field. I just feel that we need to start thinking more about those kids. If they're out on the street, they're gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
They're gonna be those transients. We need to start providing for them, opening up those parks, making them available. We have parks, but everybody has to pay to get in. These kids don't have money. Parents don't have money. That's why they're working to.
You have to pay to get into a park?
Some of the parks,
really?
Okay, BLD, the Sportsplex, you got to pay to get in there.
Wow.
You got to pay to get in there. So it's just, to me, we've taken away that from the kids. Again, I grew up walking into any park, any school, and just playing all day, all night. Until
I remember that. Yeah.
The lights go on, you got to get back home.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore. And it sucks.
Yeah. So they're they're removing those parks that were there, or how's that?
They're gated. They're all gated, so you can't get in. You know, obviously you figure out a way to get in, but you're not supposed to be in there. If they want to be douchebags and the cops want to come in and take you out, they'll take you out. I have ways of getting in. I still get in. I'll jump over or whatever. You know, I'll figure out a way. It's a fence, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But still, like,
you gonna take me to jail because I went over a fence because I want to play baseball or something? I mean, come on, take me to jail. Take me.
The problem is that these kids, they just, they're afraid of doing that kind of, jumping over, because they know that what's going to happen. A lot of these kids know. Unfortunately, people fucked it up. Graffiti, vandalism. That's why they close up the gates, or they close up the schools. They put the gates up, and I just think it worsens up the problem. Anyways, if we open up the parks, I think it'd be better for the community. That's all. I've always said that. And
parks,
parks and schools. But I don't know.
Yeah. That seems like a
fit out for 20.
I would vote for you. Save our parks.
I don't know. I mean, we need to do more for our kids.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't have our support.
Apart from parks, what else would you do?
Apart from parks.
What other things are on the list for
Fidel for president, for city council?
For city council in West Covina.
Let's see. Less massage parlors. West Covina has probably the number one massage parlors in all.
Does it really?
San Gabriel Valley. I don't know if we can look it up or not, but it has a shitload of them, dude.
Is it the number one or just the most in the region?
I don't know. You guys got to check it out. But
Can we look that up, please? I have to know this. I have to find this out.
Every time I put these headphones on, I start sweating like crazy.
No, you're fine, dude. Take them off. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
We have a lot of massage parlors in West Covina. It's crazy. I'm like, I've never been to one. I don't know if you guys saw that. Wink, wink.
I've never been to one.
You've never been to one?
I've been to a massage parlor, but not anything out of the ordinary. Not anything extra.
Oh, no. I never got any extra stuff.
Okay.
Look at that. Their safe searches off.
Really? No, but how many? There we go. How many does something?
You gotta do a little cut and paste with the how many, or how many massage parlors in West Covina. It's a lot, dude. I mean, you can just if you drive over there, you could just
let's just look up the best. No affiliation with these, but we're gonna look for the best. Why does it have to say best Asian?
Because they're all
massage parlors.
Because they have all the Asian lettering on it on the side. Yeah.
Okay, best. Then there we go. I'll read off the best Asian massage parlors near me in West Covina. Yeah, just select that one. That one's
cool.
There's
a shitload of them.
That one's cool.
We have more massage parlors than we have Starbucks and 7-Eleven.
Yeah?
I think so.
Damn, that's a lot then.
I'm telling you, we have a lot. So that'll be another one. Less massage parlors.
Serenity Zen. Oh, they look nice. Okay.
That's what they want you to think.
They're a 4.5.
Well, they close in 15 minutes, but we still have time to get out there.
We do. We can. Massage Palace. Why is it all blacked out?
Because you can't. Because exactly, yeah.
Okay, Massage Palace. 3 point, but they're a 3.7.
2 and 2. Well, because you.
Francis, would you go to that place with the 3.7 review rating?
$35 for 1 hour, dude.
No. Okay.
Can't go wrong. $35 1 hour.
Fish Shop Spot. That one looks cool. At least they have a cool fake. What is that thing called? When you burn the fire inside your house?
Yeah, those like
I don't know what. Miss. Oh, look at that one.
Miss You Massage. Oh shit.
Miss You. I miss you long time.
I love you long time too.
How much is that one? That one's open till 10.
If you say the magic words.
I want to see one that's open till at least 3 a.m. That's where I'm going because I'm not going.
That's when you go to downtown LA, the Japanese Village or whatever it's called.
I'm not getting a massage at 10 p.m.
Oh, look, there's one in Chino Hills.
Oh, look at that.
Our massage office is located in, what did it say? The Walnut.
No, that's Walnut.
Oh, it just says minutes from Chino Hills and Rolling Heights. See, they want you to go too. Go, you got to go.
There we go. SEO stuff, a beautiful day spa. Closes. They all close early. I like to do stuff late at night.
Well, you got that one that opens till 10 right there, see?
I like to do things late at night.
Anyways, there's a shitload of them, bro.
Okay.
There's a lot of massage parlors. Why do we need so many massage parlors over there? There's more massage parlors than there is Starbucks and 7-Elevens. That's crazy.
Right. But what would you have? What would be in place of those? You know what I see a lot in West Covina?
How about arcade games?
I see a lot of like Jack in the Box places.
In West Covina?
Yeah.
We have a lot of Jack in the Box. There's a lot of fast food.
The only like street that I usually cruise on is just Azusa Avenue.
Oh, okay.
All the way up into the canyons.
There's about 4 massage parlors on Azusa.
That's it?
Yeah.
Is that a lot?
That's the main street. You got to go to like Vincent, some of those side streets over there, and that's when you'll find all of them over there.
You know why?
Why?
Because you guys have Hustlers Hollywood right there next to the mall.
That's not why.
No?
But we do have Hustlers Hollywood.
Well, there's no other Hustlers anywhere else in the region.
I'll tell you what, it's an odd spot to put Hustlers because right across from the Hustlers on the other side of the freeway, on Sunset, is Portals. So it's not a good combination. You know, you can get a bakery here and then get yourself a little.
There you go.
Something for the wifey later on.
In the morning, you go and grab your croissants and your tea and your coffees, and then you come back later at night for, cock rings and other stuff to put up your butt.
Exactly.
We don't know.
No, we don't know.
No judge.
No judge.
No judgment here on this podcast. But what would be in place of those?
I keep saying it. It's the youth, man. We got to take care of those guys.
Right.
They're going to take care of us at the end. So when you die, you don't leave anything behind but your children.
I'm leaving all these YouTube videos and Spotify stuff.
Digital footprints are good. Digital footprints are good.
So I'm leaving.
What kind of shit are you spewing out? Because they're going to listen to this, right? Your children are.
It's all positive.
Exactly. So we start living positivity. We don't need massage parlors.
Right.
All right. I go home. I tell my wife, I need a massage. Can you hook me up with one?
Can you hook me up?
It doesn't always work, but I'll get a massage here and there. I mean, she's the one that gives me gift cards to go to these massage parlors.
There we go.
They never get used, but because I'd rather have different hands. I mean, her hands, not both different hands on me. But anyways, that's besides the point. again, going back to it, I think if we start providing stuff for our youth, arcade games. I'm not somebody that's against arcades.
I was just talking to somebody that
more arcade games.
Yeah, I was just
I'll
talking
give
to
my kid a bag full of quarters and just to go play arcades.
I was talking to somebody that we were talking about Nickel, like that that arcade, franchise. And I'm like, dude, they don't have any of those anywhere. What I know from the early 2000s is GameWorks and Dave and Buster's. Yeah. But even that stuff is like more adultish versus, how Nickel was back in the day.
The Nickel that we had in West Covina, there was a laser tag.
Oh, okay.
Inside the Nickel. So now imagine that. You go somewhere where you're playing arcades and then you have an opportunity, to go play laser tag.
Right.
For, an hour. And you come out there just drenched. You're sweating. Is it sanitary? Probably not. But the thing is that you're getting a workout. You're getting to be out of the streets. The problem is that I think is that we have these kids that are either they're in home, not doing shit, right, or they're out on the streets, fucking around doing some stupid shit. And when I'm saying that, I'm not talking about your 12-year-olds, your 13-year-olds. I'm talking about your 16-year-olds. Those guys are the ones that I'm concerned about. If they're out there because their parents are too big, you're never going to end that. There's always going to be poverty or middle class where they don't have time to focus on their kids. And that's another thing. I got scared straight again where when I was young, I don't even know if this was an actual law, but if I did something stupid under the age of 18, my parents are the ones that paid for it. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that if they would get a ticket, they would go to jail if I did something under the age. Now they're trying to prosecute these 16-year-olds as adults. The parents don't have to do shit. Now you're taking away the accountability of the parent. Mm-hmm. So as a parent, you have this accountability of raising trying to raise the right kid here. So if they fuck up, it's your fault as a parent. You did fuck up somewhere. It could have been because you had to work too much and you weren't able to pay attention at home. But at some point, is it where you have to make a decision of like what's more important, right? Like the kid, home. You find a way to help your kid out. But if we make it better for them, dude, like again, going back to that, something simple as that, like let's provide more things for the kids, arcades, open up parks, just more shit like that.
Libraries.
They closed down. West Covina Library is still closed because of the pandemic.
Really?
And it's a county thing. That's a county library. It's still closed. I don't understand that. Like,
yeah,
why is it closed? We don't have. Before we used to go in there for research. It was full. You had all these kids out there, even if it would just go to hang out for a little bit, and then they go inside and do kind of research or whatever. It was full of kids, adults. Just a lot of older people out there. Like
I loved the library when I was. The library
was a great place to. It was just a great place to go. Sometimes just to hang out.
Right.
It's closed. It's been closed since pandemic. So I don't know if other cities are the same way, but for sure West Covina, that's how it is right now, and it's sad. Like we're not doing anything for our youth right now, and I think that's across the board, not just West Covina. That's probably across the board. I don't know anything about Chino or how they run.
Neither do I.
But you should start researching it.
Now that you're telling me that they have the showings on YouTube, I'm gonna look for that because that's
most
pretty interesting.
I don't know if Chino does, but most do, and they are interesting because they talk about all that stuff. You live here, so you pay your taxes here,
right?
So a lot of the stuff that you're paying your taxes for, you don't even know what you're paying for, but you're paying for it.
Yeah,
you might be paying for. Here, I'll give you a good example. In West Covina, they run all these kinds of events. They just finished running a health and wellness event that nobody went to, but they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this thing that nobody fucking went to.
Damn.
Because we don't need a health and wellness event.
Where was this and when was this?
It was this weekend at the Sportsplex. It's a sports.
What's a Sportsplex?
Sportsplex was BLD. Was she?
Okay.
Francis, she knows what the BLD was.
Okay.
BLD is Big League Dreams.
Okay.
They have baseball fields and softball fields.
So it was like a venue of outdoor sports.
Think of it as a stadium for kids to go play or
Oh, that's cool.
Organized sports.
Okay.
And they have all these vacant fields, and they got to make use of them.
Right.
So what they start doing is they're starting to hold events there. And they just held this event because the city owns it.
That nobody went to.
Before, it used to be owned by BLD, which the city was collecting tax revenue from them, BLD. You know, and I don't want to get too into all the numbers and all that shit like that, but they were collecting revenue from the owners of BLD. All right, so they're collecting all this money, this revenue. They don't got to do nothing, just collect, right? Give me money.
Yeah.
Now they go, well, let's just take over, and we'll use this facility for ourselves, and we'll make money. City doesn't know how to run a sportsplex. They're trying to run it, but they don't know. So what are they doing now is they're trying to make it look like they're being used. A health and wellness fair doesn't mean shit. There's nothing. You know, they're trying to do their own health department. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that they're trying to do.
Aside from Los Angeles County,
so they don't have to. So they don't have to comply with the county. You know,
and this is West Covina.
This is West Covina's trying to do this, just like Pasadena. Pasadena has their own health department, right? And here's the thing: is that even with this whole pandemic, Pasadena having their own health department, the city still had to comply with some of the county's ordinance or whatever.
Right. Just like some states have their own laws, but they still have to comply with federal law, right? So it's city and county.
It's the same way, you know. Okay. If the county said, "Well, we're stepping over, and this is what you still have to do," which they did. But there's certain things that you, as having your own health department, that you can benefit from. But
do you think COVID had a lot to do with it? For cities to make their...
That's the reason why they're trying to do that. But they're trying to keep cities... The reason why they want to do that is because they keep more of that revenue inside, so you don't pay it to the county.
Right.
Taxes don't go too much to the county. They stay in the city. So they just they're thinking money. How do we get more money to our city?
Right.
By building your own health department is one of the ways. And
but even like if they didn't so like some cities, if they didn't like the county's rules when it came to COVID, right? So some cities would be able to make their own judgment because they have their own public health.
Yes.
Okay.
But you still have to comply with certain...
Some of them, laws. Right? Of course, there's going to be the general one that they have to listen to.
A good example is Pasadena. Like even them, like it actually was stricter. Pasadena was actually their health department was actually stricter than it was for county.
For the county,
and I know this because I work at car dealerships. So every time I would have to walk into a car dealership, I had to do a checklist of things I had to do before I can walk into the store. You know, my mask, I had to wear it. I had to, they had to check my temperature. Mm-hmm. Like I was going to Glendora, they weren't doing that over there.
Wow.
You know, they don't have their own health department. So it's not better, I don't think, right? And when your city doesn't have any money and you're in the negative, you're trying to build your own health, you're spending millions of dollars building your own health department.
And then you have this health and fitness fair that nobody went
to because nobody's in agreement with it. You know? So, can I stop it? No, I can make an impact as maybe like start shedding more light to it, start talking about it with friends and family that I know, and then they can start that are in the city that they can start researching it. And now we're making a big stink about it. So we can make a difference, but it's all the residents have to make a difference by not voting for a certain individual. Like vote them out.
Yeah.
Right. We can't impeach them, but we can vote them out. They won't be able to take office again. But I don't know. I mean, again, I didn't want to make this political and all that, but it's just, it's important, I think, to know where your money's being spent.
It is.
So do your research.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Now I'm going to do that for Chino and Chino Hills and Pomona.
Like I just brought the show down.
No, absolutely not. No, you're dropping freaking, you're dropping knowledge, man.
Well, it's just me, again, as a learning everything as I go. I don't know. There's not much that I know. I talk to people that know shit, that know more about it. My neighbor is all into it. So I'm sitting there listening to her, 80-year-old woman, and she's telling me all this shit, like I'm just soaking it in and trying to absorb as much so that I know about it and I could pass it down to the next people, the people, like my kids and their friends. I have these conversations. I take my kid to school. I have these conversations with my kids, and it's my kid and his buddy that I pick up, that take him to school. I talk to them about this all the time, and I always tell them, "Hey, what would you guys do?" I always let them make those kind of decisions, because I want them to, at a young age, to start thinking about that kind of stuff. It's important. I wish I had that when I was young. I didn't. All I thought about was having a good time, partying, not even having to worry. But unfortunately, we do have to, and I think we should start them early. Start talking about that, or just not even just start planting the seed.
Yeah, at least start
You know what I mean?
planting the seed.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been doing with my 12-year-old.
12,
Yeah, he's 12, so gotta get him started early.
right?
Yeah. Well, then they're learning as I'm learning, so it works both ways.
How old were you at 12 years old?
How was I?
Yeah, like if your
I
dad
had no
would.
worry in the care, dude. I had no worry. Like
Yeah.
I was a kid. My parents, they hid everything from us. Even until I was like the age of 30, 35 years old.
Yeah.
They were still like, oh, we don't talk about that. That's taboo. We don't talk about that. And I'm over here 35 years old asking questions about, I'm like, this shit could fucking affect me, like health. Like, how did my grandfather die? Was it a heart attack? Because that could affect me,
Yeah.
Like, I want to know. Oh, no, he got stabbed. Okay, well, then I'm good.
Yeah.
He got stabbed, But these are the kind of things that we have to be okay to talk about. And we don't talk about it. A good point is my nephew that passed away with the fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
I had this conversation with my son, my 11. At that time, he was 11, and was it difficult? Yeah, he remembers his cousin as his cousin, and his cousin is no longer with him. Asking questions why. I had to tell him, but I did it because I want him to know what's out there right now.
Yeah.
I want him to know the danger. It's not just as easy as it could be your buddy that's giving you a candy nowadays, right? Like, that new fentanyl looks like a sweet tart.
Does it really?
Yeah, like a sweet tart now. It's like a rainbow color.
Wow.
It's like a candy. You can give him a handful of that stuff thinking it's candy because maybe that kid doesn't even know. But it's your buddy, and your buddy's not going to do you wrong. It's just that your buddy doesn't know. So now you got to think twice about that. If it's not in a package, if I didn't give it to you, just think about it. Like, I just told him, you don't need it. You don't need those candies. I know you want them. You don't need them. If you really want them, I'll take it to the 7-Eleven and buy it for you. You know what I mean? As long as they're not opening the door for us and asking for money.
Yeah, right.
Or if we're not in Pomona. But the thing is that I want him to know. I don't want to keep it from him like my parents did with me. I was naive at the age of 25, 21, 22, 23, whatever. I had to learn all that shit on my own. Asking questions. Like, I felt like an idiot asking questions, to some of my friends that were like, you didn't know that? Like, it was just like, no, I didn't. But I had to learn the hard way, And I don't want my kids to go through that. So I do want to, I'm not trying to scare them straight, but I want to put them straight,
I don't think you're scaring them straight. It's just reality. That's what's happening. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just what's happening. It's just reality, and reality, it is what it is. And like, whatever your take on it is what it is. Like, it's not. Could it be good? Maybe. Could it be bad?
Yeah,
possibly. But it's all. So it's just reality at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're just giving them the truth, then I mean, there's no good or bad to that, because it's just the truth.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be black and white. Like, a lot of things are there's gray areas in different parts of life, but when it's just reality for what it is, then dude, that's what it is. Like, the whole fentanyl thing is just, that's the reality of it right now. And we have to take preventative measures to share with people, because that's, I rarely, I don't even with that, like, I don't think about that too often, because I do like weed. I do like cannabis, and I do like different products, but my measures are maybe just subconscious, that I purchase from from not from larger, like, farms or whatever, but just like well-known, dispensaries, instead of just somebody on the street.
Yeah. And that I think is the importance of legalizing that kind of stuff, right? Like we just talked about, mushrooms, something like a psychedelic, where it's probably in their best interest to start legalizing these kinds of drugs.
It's scary, because you have that. Like, there's just people growing their stuff in their garage, in their bedroom. Mm-hmm. You don't know. Like, I get it. Like, I'm all for psychedelics and legalizing them and making them more available for people for mental health reasons. but I'm also for them for recreational use because I believe that nobody should have a stronghold on somebody else's experience, on somebody else's cognitive ability, or somebody else's mind.
Yeah.
For one, like that should, it just still, that blows my mind that something like that is illegal just for the fact that because it changes somebody else's perception of reality.
Yeah. Well, you're taking away someone's, decision to make a decision.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of those things where I guess one of the things that everybody's talking about right now was my body, my choice, right? Like the Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like similar to that. Like
my mind, my choice.
My choice. Exactly. You want to make
I like that. That's a sticker. That's a mind buzz sticker. We got to write that.
Sure,
dude, yes. My mind, my choice.
You got to do mind buzz and then put on the bottom, bam. My mind, my choice.
That's fucking awesome.
But I think we're getting to that, like you said, we're getting to that point of like, we're starting to legalize it. Like it's all about having that conversation. Like we were talking about earlier is, you're embarrassed to talk about it to a certain individual, a stranger. But I think we have to. It's an icebreaker.
It is.
It's an icebreaker. I think you have to. And if it didn't break good for you, then it didn't break good for you. You just keep moving on. That maybe that person's not going to be in your life anymore or whatever. Or maybe you just don't talk about it with that one certain individual.
Yeah.
But we can't be afraid to talk about things like that.
Yeah. I think it was like somebody that I worked with for many years. And I think when Oakland first decriminalized psilocybin, the psychedelic compound. So psilocybin is a psychedelic compound in magic mushrooms. Yeah. So when they decriminalized that in Oakland, I got an email and I was sharing it with everybody. I was just telling them, I was like, hey, this person didn't even ask me. And we're just talking about, I was like, hey, did you know that Oakland was like the first one of the big major cities in California to legalize magic mushrooms? And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, you're crazy, dude. But no, like just I think from then on, like I mean, it just sharing that information is it's pretty good. Like even if they're for it or if they're against it.
Exactly. It's okay. You talked about black and white. The problem is that there's no more gray area. Like
it has to be. It's why is the information so polarized?
I don't know. I think it's too much information. There's at your fingertips. You can debunk somebody. I was great at telling
debunk them.
Telling somebody a story and then like, that's not right. Let me look it up.
Right.
Good example. My brother. Okay, I should say I'll start off with this. My dad is great at telling stories. A lot of them aren't true. He embellishes a lot. That's probably where I get my storytelling from.
Uh-huh.
But that's what he does. That's his thing. He's gonna tell you about something that happened back in his ranch, in Sinaloa, like, oh, well, this and that. And then my brother's quick to go, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Prove it to me.
Yeah.
Show me some pictures. Tell me somebody else that was there. And I go, bro, why are you taking that shit away from him? Like, he wants to tell a story. Let him fucking tell the story.
Right.
Fucking dude's on his, he's young and he's healthy, but I'm like, he doesn't have much, he's on his way out. You're like,
yeah.
Even if he wasn't, like, let him tell the fucking story. Like, what does it hurt? Like, why is it hurting you? Like,
I like that.
You know what I mean? Like, let him fucking embellish if he wants to embellish a little bit. I know he didn't get attacked by a dog and he jump and rip the fucking jaws, the dog's jaw open. You know what I mean? Like, I know he didn't, and he tossed him across the room. I know he didn't do that.
Is that part of his story?
That's one of his stories.
Yeah?
Yeah. He said, and he tells it very beautifully. But I'm not going to take that away from him. Yeah. My brother's like, hey, that's bullshit. That didn't happen. And I'm like, dude, don't do that, man. Don't take it away. Because let him tell that story. You know what I mean? But like, he's quick to like prove him wrong. And I think that's where we're at right now. Kind of like with like, hey, let's Google that shit.
I know, right? Is that my whole podcast? Is that just me just trying to debunk
I'm just
somebody?
Here to tell you, bro, that you stop Googling. Not just kidding. No, but it's like, but that's what it is though, right? There's too much information out there. Right now you can find whatever narrative that you want, you can find it online. Whatever narrative.
I should have downloaded the Brave app before you got here.
Should have.
I should add that. Should
It's been about 4 weeks at least, right? That Ramos has been here, and you still haven't downloaded it.
Right. And then I talk about it every episode.
Yeah, you do, including this one.
Okay, yeah. So tonight, that's it.
Before
I'm
you
downloading
leave,
it. I'm downloading it, dude.
You gotta download it.
I gotta download it.
You gotta
but-
close the end. You gotta close the show by saying, "And by the way, I just downloaded the Brave app."
I'll do that in like Instagram or
There
something.
you go.
Yeah, I'll say I just downloaded it. I'll show proof, everything. I'll
Yeah.
tag you. But no, I really need to get that
Yeah.
one on. But yeah, it's been a couple of months since there was one thing that I was gonna bring up now. I totally forgot what we were talking about.
I don't know. I thought
Before
we
you-
were wrapping it up.
Are we?
I don't know.
Are you good on time?
I just gotta go take a piss.
Oh yeah. Well, we can take a break. And Francis, do you want to show him where it is?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Show him, and then I'll talk for a little bit, and then because I need to go too.
Okay.
There we go. This is a first.
You don't stop it. You don't close it. You just keep going.
No, just keep going.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, why
Joe
not?
Rogan, just like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah. Well, you watch the show. I don't watch it that much anymore. He's your boo.
Yeah, I guess. But this is the prototype for a Mind Buzz glass. So tell me how that looks. It looks pretty cool. I like it. It's gonna be out for purchase. Did you see this?
That's nice.
It's pretty cool, huh?
I like it.
Yeah. Would you buy one?
I would buy one. Put it on my desk.
Okay. Would you really? What would you put in there? Would you put beer? Would you put
Candy.
Pepsi? Candy? What kind of candy? No fentanyl, right?
No, Halloween candy.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, we got to get these out. Definitely. And then shout out to So Loca. Those of you on YouTube, go check out that episode that I did with her. So I traveled a couple of, like 2 weeks ago, I traveled to San Diego to go do So Loca's podcast, Skills Pay Bills. And there was like about an hour and 40 minutes of her just interviewing me about certain things about this podcast, about open mics. Oh, by the which way, I will be hosting an open mic night in Paramount, California, Horchateria Rio Luna Cafe. We have something like crazy, like 14 to 15 artists coming out on that night, which is October 27th at Horchateria Cafe in Paramount. I'm going to host it. Costumes are welcome. I believe we're going to have some candy for the kids. It's going to be an awesome night. We have so many I think we have musicians, we have a few poets, we have a couple of comics coming out sharing their comedy. It's going to be an awesome night. And yours truly is going to be hosting it. So it's going to be my second one down at that location. We've been doing it for a couple months. It's going to be a good time. 27th. It's close to Halloween. So I encourage, hopefully, I'm going to make it mandatory actually for musicians and all the other people performing to actually, come on in, man. Hey, Fidel, how you doing, man?
Come back from break.
Welcome back. Go ahead and it's going to be my turn now. So you're going to,
all right.
okay. You're going to share just a couple of minutes before.
So it's a bunch of shameless plugs. So as Gill walks over to take his little break, we're going to talk about Talking Again Podcast. You guys make sure you follow Talking Again Podcast on Instagram, my camera's right here. On Instagram, Twitter. Well, actually, if you go on Instagram, there's a link tree down below. I think the link tree is like linktree.com/thetap. You'll be able to find all the links down below. I got a merchandise store. Nobody buys shit from it, but you could buy something from it, and I lowered all the prices, so it's like $20 or less. And I don't make anything out of it. Well, maybe like $1. So all those shirts. Actually, this one here is the newest one, so you might have to pay a little bit more for this one. All the other stuff, almost like cheap, barato. But yeah, it's been fun. I just want to thank this guy right here for having me on the podcast and get me out of retirement. Then let's talk a little bit about that. Am I going to come out and do a podcast again, or continue the podcast? I don't know. That really is the honest truth. I don't know if I'm going to start. My son keeps asking me, Dad, are you going to do the podcast? Are you going to continue it again? Can I be your next guest, or when you come on, or your first guest when you come back? The answer is yes. If I do come back, he will be. So I'll say right here, this is an exclusive. My son, known as Vincent, Vinny, he will be my first guest. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to come back. I've been having a lot of fun not having to produce this and look for guests, produce this and do all that stuff. It's just been really cool spending time with the family, not having to like hold off or cancel on certain dates and whatever. But I miss podcasting. I started it because it was something fun to do. It's a hobby. And then somewhere in the middle, it turned into a business. So if we take away the business side of that and just continue doing it as a hobby, I'm definitely going to come back to it. But if I can't figure it out, then that may have been the last episode. What did Gill say? That was the number one guest was Lou Arriaga because it's the last one that I ever did. He may be right. We don't know. There is one episode though that I was telling him about that went off the chains, off the rails, I should say. Some super entities got involved, didn't allow us to post it. Long story short, the video disappeared and then it reappeared a month later. So I have half of that video. Once we started talking all this dark stuff about babies being murdered and all that kinds of shit, that's when it ended. So I will repost that eventually. I will post it up there and give you guys a little exclusive on that one. So I did talk with an empath and her daughter. They have a show called Living with an Empath, and that's where it all went crazy. So it went cray-cray. That's the one, I guess I could say the hidden or the lost tapes. Ooh, we'll call it the lost tapes.
That's
So
intriguing.
I found it, and I will post it. I just haven't been able to edit it. And,
I heard you, dude. I heard you say something about Lou Arriaga. That
yeah.
Lou,
Go ahead, you tell him.
Mr. Lou. I have
Mr.
this,
Wu?
Mr. Wu. I have this conspiracy theory, and you guys known me for making conspiracy theories about our little circle, about our little indie thing that we got going on. That Lou Arriaga was probably one of the best and most professional and the most, famous guests that Fidel would ever have on the podcast. So he hasn't been able to put out another podcast episode because he just can't top that guest.
100% right about that.
No. Am I really?
No, I mean he was great. Not to blow smoke up his ass, but Lou is he's a genuine guy, easy to talk to, knows a lot. I mean, the guy's smart.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He speaks very eloquently. But
There we go.
he's just. It seems like when you talk to the guy, like if you've known him forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he
It
just.
sounded like that when
he
you guys
makes
sat down.
Yeah, he
and
makes you
talked.
feel comfortable.
Okay.
That was my job as a host is for me to make him feel comfortable.
Yeah. Are you comfortable?
I'm always comfortable. So
Okay.
the reason why, I don't know if you've noticed, but I used to, when I was going live, doing all my shit, right? I was going live before I recorded. So like, let's just say, for example, if I had you on as a guest,
Right.
we recorded October 10th.
Okay.
You come on, we do a quick live, 15 minutes. We shoot the shit, have a couple drinks. I promote whatever sponsors on here for the show.
Okay.
And then we end it and we say goodbye to everybody. Make sure you guys follow Gill. Make sure you follow his podcast. Tune in about a week. His podcast will be released. This isn't the podcast. Make sure we're gonna talk. We're gonna get into it. This was just us breaking the ice. We'll be back. Hang up, and then we sit down, record the podcast. I set it up. We record it. So that was a teaser for everybody else. So that's when you started getting follows. People started following you, all that stuff. So that's what I would do as the icebreaker. I started doing that.
Did you call it the what did you
It was
have
called
it
the
a fan?
tap room.
Oh,
The tap room. So the tap room was where we would we would go live. There's the mics were hooked up and everything, but we would go live.
Yeah.
And people would ask questions, and if we had some means of looking at the questions, then we'd answer them. Otherwise, we'd let them ask those questions, never answer those questions. But again, it was just a way of breaking the ice between. Sometimes it's the first time you meet a guest, like
Right.
for example, here with us, we talked for maybe 15 minutes before we started recording, right?
yeah.
So same thing. We would come in, do the live, break the ice, let their followers, their fans know what's going on, and get familiar with the show. And then in about a week, the full episode will come on, and we're gonna get into some this and that, blah blah blah. Boom. So
That sounds like a lot of work.
it is, and it was, but again, like I was telling your viewers and listeners, is that I miss doing that stuff. It was fun. And then it turned into a business, and it wasn't fun anymore. Where you would have certain people that would say, "Hey, I got a guest for you," and later on you find out those are publicists or whatever, agents.
Really?
Yeah. And
Damn, dude, you're like
they start sending you their clients, and now because their clients are doing like a podcast tour, so now you're just part.
They
of that.
have those?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Do they really?
Oh, fuck
I'm
yeah.
a little newbie in that they have those.
They have those, and I always send them. I'll say it right now. So Andy, Profile Pod TV, if you're getting artists, a lot of artists that I'm sending them your way, bro.
Really?
Andy does a lot of like music.
I've seen that.
So
yeah.
when people ask me, like I got to a point where I just wasn't gonna do that anymore, and I just go, "Hey, I don't do that. I'm not doing that anymore." But if I know someone that does, hit them up. I don't know if they do or not,
Right.
but they do. They hit them up, or I mean, I should say, I tell them, I send them out to Andy because he's the one that I know that does that kind of interview. Kind of like, so you had to get your last guest, the Fool Hauser,
Yeah.
right? I remember telling Andy of Profile Pod TV when he was on my podcast, I told him that he should do that. I go, dude, I grew up on Hugh Hauser. I go, you should start doing that and make that into your thing, like Hugh Hauser.
Okay.
But instead of like looking at
Right.
California like gold, do it as profiling people in California. Like,
okay.
interesting people in California, and just go out there and start doing that. And I know he's doing his thing. That was just something that I was throwing out there for him because one, fucking, you met Andy. Have you ever met Andy?
I haven't.
He's a big motherfucker. That
Is
fool,
it really?
Like people say,
I haven't met him. Andy, you're watching. You're listening,
Andy,
dude.
you got to come on to the Mind Bus.
We have to reschedule.
Were you guys set up to do something?
We were set up to do something, and we still need to reschedule that. So, can we put the camera on them? That was the first one to.
I had a
do
bad pour.
that.
I had a bad pour. Doesn't happen often. You see this right here? This is a trick. This is how you keep the foam down.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go,
foam will
Francis.
not
For
go
the
in.
next time you pour beer,
You got to put. It could be a fork. It could be a.
it could be a
It could be a
fork.
straw.
I don't think they'll let you have a fork inside one of the stands. So just remember that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Andy's a big guy. People say,
I've heard Whiskey J told me, he was
Yes.
like, dude, you better have room for him.
No,
you better have room for
I'll tell you
him.
right now, this is not enough room for him.
Really?
Yeah. You need to do something about this corner right here. He's not big like this. He's big like you need to get a bigger stool.
Oh
You
my
need to
god!
you need to get your camera and tilt
I need
it
to
up.
raise the
Raise
camera.
shit out of the
I need to
camera.
put it on blocks. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir,
Francis, after this episode, we need to go
He
find
played
some bricks and
college
blocks.
Football. Like,
I heard.
Huge.
I heard.
He's a massive guy.
Okay.
He's a big dude.
Okay.
All right. he played Jose Canseco on Mad TV.
I seen that.
So he's a big guy. So like I said, people say they think, oh, Fidel's he's a big dude.
Yeah.
No. Now when I'm standing next to Andy, I'm just a short fat guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's a big guy.
Okay.
But anyways, going back to that, yes, you get those agents that just start sending you guests, and then it turns into like this weird panel of like artists that you're trying to fake the funk of. I'm really not interested. Like I can get interested, but I because I didn't book you, I'm not that interested. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense at all?
Okay, no,
Okay,
yeah,
here's the thing.
that makes sense because I've just recently, I have a close acquaintance of mine that has been helping me with booking. So over the next couple of episodes, there's gonna be some there's gonna be different flavors.
Yeah.
Coming in influx, which is gonna be fun. I'm challenged on it because majority of them are not podcasters, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. So that's a little gem for anybody to listen.
What I would ask you is, what's your goal for Mind Buzz? Where do you want to take Mind Buzz in the next 5 to 10 years?
New studio.
Okay.
New studio. Remote place.
Okay. How do you get to that?
That's the thought. That's where we're going.
People think that what you're going to do as far as getting these different types of guests, hiring somebody, even though someone's hooking you up, essentially what you're doing is you're hiring someone to get you guests now, people that you don't know about. You're turning into David Letterman. Like you're going to get people that you're not. Here's their bio. Do your research.
Right.
Interview them. So if that's your direction, cool, great. But if that's not your show, do you want to really compromise what the Mind Buzz is all about?
The difference here is that I'm saying I'm looking. They're sharing profiles. They're sharing their art because majority of them are all artists and comics.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm all about. Like I'm all about comedy.
That you're interested in.
I'm all about art. I'm all about podcasting. I'm all about an individual being creative and sharing their creativity through art, through music, through audio medium like a podcaster would.
Podcast,
yeah. So that's what I'm interested in, and talking about the occasional joint once in a while.
Right.
Sharing some laughs.
Yeah. As long as you, I would say, as long as you keep the integrity of your show and don't compromise. There wouldn't be anything wrong with that.
I don't think there would be any compromise because there's no, like, when we hit the record button, there's no agenda behind it. It's just me sitting down with Fidel and having a general conversation and Google searching a couple of shit once in a while.
And I only say that and I only bring it up because I've already gone through this. Okay, You're gonna sit there and you're talking to someone, but then I've had an entourage at my place.
Really?
I've had 9 people all hanging out, watching in the background, sitting. I've had to record with the garage because it's too small for me to host 8-9 people.
And they're there.
It's
really?
An entourage
of
people, right? So I've had it where I've had agents sitting there
on
their phone, just taking pictures and fucking for the gram and this and that. Like I've done all that. And it takes a lot away from your show. It's very distracting, one.
Yeah.
And then now there's an agenda, all right? Not on your end.
Yeah.
On their end. So they come in and then it's like, well, I do bullet points. You don't have notes. I would have notes, but bullet points. They were just things, research that I would do. And most of the time I didn't even look at them, but I had them there just in case.
Right.
But it was just shit that I wanted to talk about or touch on. And a lot of times, because the conversation was good and it went over here, it went this way, it got to that gray area that we were talking about.
Yeah.
That we didn't even talk about the black and whites. We went to the gray area and we stayed there. And then we never went over there. And that's fine. That was my podcast. But then when you get an agent or someone that comes in and goes, "Oh, you scratch that off. No,
really?
Can't talk about, no, that's not good. Don't talk about that." That happens. It's happened to me. Okay. I don't know, but I mean, it happened to me. So what I'm saying is, you want that to go you want that to happen, right? They won't get compromised, your show, the integrity, but their agenda is different than yours.
Absolutely.
So as long as you're okay and you're aware of that, then you're fine. I got to the point where I didn't want to deal with that anymore. So then I cut certain people out of my life and my feed where I'm like, I don't want to deal with you anymore. I started going directly to the artist and said, "Hey, do you want to do something? Let's do it." And you got to talk to my guy. I don't want to talk to your guy. If you want to do it as a grown-ass man or a woman, let's do it. And if not, we're not doing it.
Dude, and that's the thing. Like, I've reached out to a couple of people, and that was their thing. They're like, okay, you need to talk to my manager. Right? Every time I went to the manager, they never got back to me. So I went back to the artist and said, hey, bro, they're not, or women or whatever, they're not getting back to me. Yeah. Let's set something up. Yeah. Here's my podcast. Check out my YouTube channel. Check out the clips. If you like it, come on. If you don't, it's just a general conversation. And usually, like, I would get the artist on board, but necessarily not their manager, which was always strange to me.
That life, that whole Hollywood and fucking celebrity shit, it's a game. Well, just like podcasting, and life is a game. You know? But that's a game in its own. Like celebrities, artists, whatever, they got their own shit going on, and they might want to do your show, or they might not want to, but they don't want to seem like a douchebag. So then they go and say, my manager doesn't.
But dude, that's the thing. I'm just like, tell me, like, just tell me. Hey,
you can't.
Hey, tell me you don't want to be on the podcast. Just tell me, right? And that goes for anybody. Just be straight up. Why isn't, like, why all this masa?
Okay, I'll tell you why. There's people like there's certain podcasters that feel like they have a big following, and then they go out there and put you on blast. And they'll I can sit here right now and give you a list of people that your viewers will all know who they are, because they're celebrities, been in movies, been in music videos, they've done all kinds of shit that I've communicated with, and for whatever XYZ, they can't come on the show, or they don't want to come on the show. But I will never put them on blast. It doesn't make me it. Right. I might get 15 minutes of like, dude, fucking, did you see what happened? And then it's gone.
Yeah.
And what did I do? I tainted this person's, I fucked with their ego for a little bit. Like, that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of you going on here and saying, well, fuck them because they did this and they didn't want to come on the show, even though you may not do that. You may never want to do that. And you might tell them that you're not going to do that, but they don't know that. All they're thinking is, I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look like the bad guy. So then they put it on someone else, agent, manager, XYZ.
Right. But, I mean, you have to think, like, you're the bad guy.
Are they?
I don't know.
Aren't you entitled to making your own decision if you don't want to come onto someone's show? But then you don't want to. But I know it's safe. It's easy to say. I'll say no. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
No. Hold on.
You, it's easy, but for someone like them,
no. I think I'm thinking. Maybe I'm thinking about this totally different. But I'm saying, like, not in a bad guy sense. Like, oh, you don't want to. Of course. Like, if you don't. My whole thing is communication. I think that's where the
transparency.
Exactly. Like, if you don't want to, then that's fine. But is there decency to say, like, I don't want to do your podcast, instead of pawning it to somebody else?
Yeah. You're not playing within the game.
So that's part of the game?
That's part of the game.
That's part of the game?
That is part of the game.
Okay.
So you want it to go a certain way, but it's not going your way. And then you can beat around the bush. You can just make this shit fucking make you go insane and keep thinking about it, or just move on to the next one, dude. Move on to the next one, because at that point, it doesn't do any favors for you to keep dwelling on that and thinking why and why and why, when the answer is probably really obvious, but you're not getting it, or you're not wanting to accept it.
I think my thing is, like, okay, like, after the first, like, couple of times, I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm a very passive person. Like, I'm very into individualism. And, like, if a person is, doesn't want to do something, then that's them. Like, that's what they want to do. Like, me on the other end, like, I think about that, and I have to remind myself that that's how it is. Like, you're not going to all get yeses.
Right.
And they're not going to all be no's.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just finding that out, like, every, this week.
Yeah.
Because I've sent out lots of emails. Booking is one thing that, aside of this, that nobody sees.
Oh, yeah. No. That's one of the hardest things here in podcasting.
They listen to Spotify, they watch the YouTube channel, and that the hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, if I'm talking about Ranting with Ramos, is what they see. But there's hours and hours of different, ins and outs, booking, scheduling. Especially if you have somebody like Francis helping me out tonight. Like this includes like another person to set away, 2 to 3 hours of their time.
Yeah.
My time, your time. So a lot of hours goes into just the initial show. Now, if you want to talk about posts and promoting and all that stuff,
another bag.
Then it's more than that.
Yeah.
But booking, for one thing, is a lot, and I've figured out that the politics of booking, I'm not interested in that. And if you don't want to do it, then cool.
Yeah.
But I just have to remind myself that. And dude, you even that video that I posted on IG about talking about the marketing, and I've spent 2 years doing this, and now I gotta.
I watched it. I saw it, and I gave my honest opinion about it.
And that was
you
I
didn't
like
ask
that,
me
dude.
for my opinion. I gave it to you. I just expecting or thinking like maybe he wants to hear it, and if he doesn't, you don't have to hear it. He just either delete the comment or fucking whatever, ignore it. But because I do have strong opinions about it, because this is your art, this is your craft, this is your hobby,
right?
This is what you're doing it as. I mean, for me, I'm doing it as a hobby. I was passionate about it. I want to do it, but it really is. There's an ugly business that I've learned that is there's a game within all this, and if you're not playing the game right, then it's gonna hurt. If you're a sensitive person, it's gonna hurt. I asked twice. Now my rule is twice. I asked you once, and if you're cool with it, cool. And then, all right, I'm doing it. And then I ask again, hey, just want to remind you, you said, let's do this podcast. I'm trying to get things going. Let's do it. And if at that point you don't respond or you're ignoring or whatever, that's it. I'm done. I already asked twice. I don't care how big you are. None of that. I really, I've gotten burned many times. I've been sitting around in my studio waiting for someone to show up, fucking ice chest stacked, ready, off of requests that person had. I need this, I need that, I need this, fucking orange M&Ms. Not to that extent, but pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
All right, I did all that, and then the person never showed, because they felt that they were, my podcast wasn't big enough for them.
Really?
And that's, hey, you know what? I can respect that, because my podcast isn't big.
Right.
And if you feel that your worth is more valuable, I preach that all the time, know your worth. And if you feel that your worth is more than mine, then that's cool. But don't say that you're going to be somewhere where you're not.
And see, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. The communication between whether you're going to do it or not.
I can sit here and tell you that guy's an asshole or that person is an asshole. And I will never break bread with that person. Mm-hmm. But I will never put him on blast either, because it doesn't do me any fucking favors.
Right.
Like that whole fucking thing that right now with the the major leagues, major leaguers, I think it's hilarious.
Right.
You're part of the major leaguers, aren't you?
I've been led to believe that I'm part of the major league,
which is pretty much a bunch of podcasts have been burned by one guy,
right?
One podcaster. I feel like you're putting more light on that guy.
Do you really?
Yeah, 100%. Here's my theory. Okay.
Do your thing, and then I'm going to ask you a genuine question that I ask somebody off air. Okay. Because this is the first I haven't even addressed any of.
He was on my podcast.
I have to go back and go to that, but I haven't even addressed any of this MLB stuff.
Oh, you haven't
on here?
Oh no, you haven't.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I'm sitting here as the person in question, and I'm thinking, God, these guys are so salty. They started a network all revolving around me. How badass am I? Is what I'm thinking. And that's exactly what that person is thinking.
Yeah, 100%?
99, because I always leave a little bit of room for wiggle.
Okay.
99%.
Okay.
Is what that person is probably thinking.
And dude, the thing is, like, it's just, I don't even, I'm lost for words, because that whole thing is just like, it's, you've seen the anonymous video, right?
Yeah.
do you think that I was shedding light on the anonymous person?
I think the people that know. You know that hashtag.
So it's like if you know, you know.
Yeah. And which all it is an inside joke.
Okay.
Which the major leaguers is an inside joke.
That's where in my my stance on everything is to keep it that way.
Yeah.
To keep it an inside to the merch. It's all fun and games, but just to keep it inside. But hearing from you, it's blowing that person's head up 1,000%.
99%.
99%.
I think so. I mean, if we know who we're talking about here, and we know what that person thinks, yeah, that's the one thing that they're thinking.
But
and not only thinking is, I don't listen to the show, but it's probably saying it out loud. I don't know. You guys probably listen to the show, but it's probably telling their viewers, can you believe there's a network out there that started because of me? And this, like that's kind of what they're taking it as.
But this is coming from me. This has nothing to do with the major league thing. This is just
go ahead.
Gill, and not even the Mind Buzz, because I'm just the host of this podcast. I just host.
And I respect you having the Mind Buzz. That's the reason why I have Talking Again podcast and not Fidel's Talking Again podcast.
Exactly. This is the Mind Buzz. This is not Gill. But what Gill is saying, me, and I'll stop talking in the third person right now, but this is all comedy to me.
Yeah.
This is all fun. And because you are getting these feelings, that's funny to me. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. When I first saw it, that's how I saw it. I was laughing my ass off. I thought that shit was hilarious. And then I thought, how come I'm not in there? And then I go, because I don't have beef with that person.
Yeah, dude.
So then I was like, this is because these are all people that have had beef with the person. Uh-huh. And I just stopped following and stopped listening.
But dude, I didn't even ask. Who asked for this? I didn't ask for this. Right. I didn't. It was just, I put the question out there.
Yeah.
Who wants to come and do the Mind Buzz next?
Yeah.
Right. And people were just throwing out names, and I got that, and I was just shocked. Right? I was coming. We just went to a concert the night before. I read my DMs that morning, and I was like, all right, I want to post this because this is good. This is fun. Yeah. Like I can make something fun out of this.
Yeah.
And then throughout the whole day, I was just thinking, like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I'm gonna put the link down in the show description for that fun video. But that's all it is for me. And then I have a second one that I haven't released.
Oh shit!
I have something that has been released that I've who's heard it? I think just the major leagues.
Okay.
I've heard it, and I told them that I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm just going to leave it as is, because then there's probably going to be more.
Yeah.
If I do this, and then, I'm just going to leave it alone.
I hope it would never get to a certain point where like people start to get physical and certain things. We're coming to a point where
that's part of it.
Okay, we're coming to that where now like you start seeing these rap artists that I don't know who the fuck these rap artist guys are that are getting murdered.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of them. They have 2.1 million followers.
Right.
Somebody knows about them.
Right.
I don't. I'm 40-something years old, remember?
Yeah.
I had to go take a piss right now because I'm 40-something years old. I can't hold it in anymore. But these guys are super famous. Later on, you find out that, they just do a lot of featurings or whatever. But the thing is that they're famous on social media. And now they're a little bit vulnerable when they get themselves put out there. And you don't know who the hell you're dealing with out there. This is another crazy reason why. Have you ever dealt with a stalker or any kind of weird, like?
Before I answer that question, because that's a loaded question.
It is.
Here we go. Have you ever been stalked, really, dude? And nobody has ever asked me that. But before I get into that, the second video has some overview of physical violence, and
Everything didn't work.
Yeah, that's fine. The overview of it has a piece of physical violence,
Like a rabbit getting murdered or something.
No. It's just like I'll release this that if you're ever in LA, be ready for the chin check.
Oh, okay.
And I'm merch coming to you soon by MLB of the Be Ready.
I gotta get that discount code for the merch.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. Be ready for the chin check. But anyway, it reached to that point, and like everybody's saying, "Oh, Gill's scared. Gill's whatever." He likes to just chill and go to shows and stuff, which I do.
Yeah,
I love going to shows, but I'm not gonna let a threat like stop me from doing the things I love and going to LA. And plus, I don't even hang out in LA for one. I go to LA for, random shows, music bands or whatever, but I'm more in Long Beach than anything.
Yeah. So you're there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those that didn't get it, if you know, you know.
Right.
But I asked you about a stalker.
Right.
The shit when you put yourself out there and you're in that as soon as you release your first episode, you're in the public eye.
Right.
Even if you have 5 followers or even if just 5 people viewed it.
Yeah.
You're in the public eye. So now you add 100 views to that, 200 views to that, 300 views to that. You got a lot of people that know your face, maybe know where you live, know the city you're in, probably.
Right.
It starts to get a little crazy when you get random people just showing up or sending you some weird messages, and you're thinking it's cool, but it's not really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the great thing is I have a great relationship with my wife, and I always tell her, like, okay, what do you think about this? Like, can you read this? What do you think? And she's like, get away, run. That's not good, or be careful. This person seems delicate. You don't want to say. You got to say the right things.
Right.
Don't shut them off so quickly. But it happens. Not to say that like I have a whole bunch of stalkers, but you get these kinds of messages, and you have to be careful with them too, because you can't just tell anybody to fuck off anymore nowadays.
Yeah, of course
You just can't say, "Hey man, go fucking fly a kite."
See, that's why I make videos.
Yeah.
That's why I make anonymous videos.
Yeah.
Like I don't see the thing is about like if somebody wants to send me stuff, and like I totally get your point of you can't really trust people anymore on the internet, and I get that, but maybe I'm just so tuned into what the internet and what I want it to be is that, and some people don't like if you're gonna post something and on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, on anything, if you're gonna post something, it's fair game. It's fair game. If you're gonna send me something, a private message,
Yeah.
you're giving that to me. You're giving that to me.
Yeah.
So don't be upset when that is blown up or that is a focal point. If something is on the internet and if something is said on the internet, just like this, it's somebody that likes me, that doesn't like me,
Yeah.
doesn't like you, that maybe love you or don't like you, they can cut and chop up whatever you have to better serve what their narrative is or what they think who you are.
Yeah.
It's fair game. Anything that we post as podcasters is all fair game. But my thing is that don't be upset with a podcaster for being a podcaster. Don't be upset with a comic trying to be a comic, because that's where we run into this new system of people that, I mean, just even comics just going up and making jokes that people are are getting offended by. Like my whole thing is that if a comic is going to be up, their job as a comic or their job as an entertainer or their job as a podcaster, their job as a broadcaster is to share entertainment with everybody through an audio medium, through a visual medium. And that's all there is. Whether it's good or bad, it's all subjective. Everything, jokes are subjective. Anything that you share is all subjective. Like, of course, you're going to see things on the internet that you necessarily don't like, that are not necessarily within your ideologies. But that's the thing when you go on the internet. Like, it's just a vast amount of information being funneled. And Facebook and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube have a very well set algorithm to where you're only watching things that you like.
Mm-hmm.
And if something slips through their algorithm to see what you don't like, then like somebody gets upset about it.
I gotta correct you though. It's not what you like; it's what you watch.
There we go.
Because you're gonna watch videos that you necessarily don't agree with, that you don't like, but you're gonna watch that video because you want to hear the opposition.
Right.
So that is that. Okay. The truth is, it's things that you watch. So the algorithm gets a little fucked up, right? But going back to what you were saying earlier, as far as what you're saying on the internet or on podcasting, it's all fair, not fair game, but it's like my opinion. If you don't like it, whatever.
Right.
But here's the thing. Comedians, actors, they're always going to say, they're going to give their point of views. And most of them are pretty damn secure about their surroundings when they're out and about because they have an entourage.
Right.
We're podcasters, local podcasters. Okay. We're not Joe Rogan. We're out there on the street doing our thing. We're saying all kinds of shit. You can say whatever you want to say, giving your opinion. If you listen to my podcast, you hardly ever hear any opinions from me. I'm an interviewer, right? I talk to people, I interview people.
Right.
I try not to give too much of my opinions because I don't want people to know. Someone had a podcast and they said how much, I think it was Chris from the Kick Rap podcast on his, and he was asking all his friends how much do they think they know? 90%, 80% of them. Mine's probably 10%.
Okay.
You probably know 10%. You know, I have a couple kids. I'm married. Maybe you know their age and where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. But you don't even know where I work at, right? You don't even know what I do for a living, full time. It's by design. I try not to put it all out there, but because I want to protect myself and where I'm at and where I'm at. You know, people know where I'm at. You know, once you put yourself out there with those opinions, there's a lot of cycles, a lot of crazy people out there that eventually will see you and they'll try to do. I guarantee, unfortunately, it's going to happen where local podcaster gunned down, just like these damn rappers, right? Local podcaster gunned down because of some bullshit that he said, an opinion that he said on his podcast, because he's just a local podcaster.
Right.
At the end of the day, right? You're just a podcaster. You might have 1 million views and listens, but at the end of the day, you're just podcasting.
Right.
That's all we're doing. So it's a hobby and we have an opinion. We have every right to have an opinion, but we have to take accountability for that too. When you have that opinion, know that there's another motherfucker, weirdo. That's what I was telling you about. If you have a stalker, there's a weird person out there that you don't fucking know about.
Absolutely.
That is watching and listening to your stuff.
To answer your question, I don't know that I know of.
You don't know.
That I know of.
That you know of. But you have.
We got to start researching to see if we have.
You won't know, man. You won't know until they surface. And when they surface, it's scary.
You gave me chills now.
When it surfaces.
I have chills now. Ladies and gentlemen. I have chills, dude.
It happens. It's
fucking scary, dude.
When that surfaces, you start to question, like, why am I doing this? Or should I be doing this? Why am I doing it out of my house? Should I do it? Should I go rent in a studio?
And that's the part of where I want to take this in the next couple of years. Like, I can't keep doing it.
Yeah. But how many episodes are you going to do where people know where you live? Think the movie Signs. Is it called Signs? No. Wait, is it called Signs? No. It's
Mel
the
Gibson?
director of Signs.
Oh, M Night Shyamalan.
But it's a different one. The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Think that Bruce Willis gets.
Am I dead?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Am I dead?
Not yet. Not yet.
Is this the Ghost podcast from?
You're not dead. You're still alive. But
Okay.
I think you're still alive.
We don't know. Am I?
Me and Francis would be like, she'd be like, why is he talking to himself? But think this: he had a client that came to his house and gunned him down, shot him. He didn't know about that client. Like, he was he was a child when he was talking to that kid, right? He was a psychiatrist, whatever.
Yeah.
And the kid grew up to be this man and came and shot him. You know? Do you remember the movie?
Oh, really?
Did I just fucking spoil it for you?
No, I've seen it.
It's a 20-year-old movie that I just spoiled.
No, I've seen it before, but he was. Wait, hold on. So the kid throughout the whole movie,
Not the kid in the movie.
Oh,
the guy that gunned down Bruce Willis and shot him and killed him. And you know Bruce Willis is dead.
Right.
But the guy that killed him, he was playing tapes from when he was talking to him as a psychiatrist, was talking to the kid about the kid being molested.
Right.
So he's giving him advice as a psychiatrist. Well, that guy is nutso, grew up as a grown-ass man and came back and was naked in his bathroom and then ended up shooting Bruce Willis. Right? So, taking it all back, backspin to this is you don't know who's watching your show, who's listening to your show. It's turned into a dark fucking podcast episode.
This is awesome. Can we turn off the lights?
Shut them off. But yeah, you don't know who's watching, who's listening, but eventually, hopefully not, they're gonna surface either in your DMs or fucking in your front door. And they might surface as an angel, as a bright star, but then later on the real, the truth comes out and you're like, fuck, you got to disassociate this person from you, and you got to do it calmly and you got to do it nice. You can't just fucking shut that person down because mental health. If you just fucking go, get the fuck away from me, you're fucking crazy. You weirdo. Now you're giving someone the power to fucking attack you or whatever the case may be, but you have to be really cool about it. And these are the things, the conversations I have with my kid. Not to go back to all that, but I tell them in school, dude, be careful who you fuck with, because you can't just go around and tell this kid to go fly a kite and go shut the fuck up, this and that, because that's that kid that's gonna come in with a gun one day, because it happens, and shoot the whole school down, and then he doesn't pardon you because you weren't cool with them, But I know it's all dark and shit like that, but the thing is that what I'm trying to say is just be careful out there, when you're saying your stuff, like, you're getting into these wars. Like I comically said fake beef, like I started saying fake beef.
But this isn't even, I mean, Fidel, like I get it. I get what you're trying to say, but to me, that's am I taking it? Should I take this a little bit more seriously than I think that it
You have
already?
to be a little bit careful. That's all.
Yeah,
just careful. Yeah, you don't know who you're dealing with, man. You don't know, and not even that person. That person's followers.
Right.
You know what's worse than someone that's just fucking out there saying all kind. Alex Jones. You know what's worse than Alex? Even though I don't think Alex Jones is that bad, but he does some crazy shit. But he's entertaining, right? But you know what's worse than him? Or let's just take Donald Trump. Another person, Donald Trump. Crazy fucking entertaining for me, entertaining, but crazy motherfucker who's our president. What's worse than that was the people that were following him and that believed him 100% of everything and that followed him and acted on his shit. That's crazier.
Yeah.
Is what I'm
I get
trying to
that.
say.
Yeah. Okay.
Cheers.
This whole this is dark. Let's turn off the lights for this one. No, but dude, I totally get it. Like I 100%. But maybe I'm just so much of what I want this art to be, and what I genuinely want this art to be, that I'm just not even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I think that's my mind is in the art. My mind is in the comedy. My mind is in. I mean, like, where's the entertainment?
Yeah.
Is in this, and I think, for the past couple of weeks, I've been watching a lot of Andy Kaufman stuff,
Yeah.
and so he's overtaking my artistic value of what I think entertainment is, and you know who Andy Kaufman is, right? Yeah, and just all his the prank stuff, his antics, and all the which people already like if they don't know that it's all an act, and some people are in on the joke, but it looks like it's pretty serious.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. Like that's where my mind is. My mind is in the entertainment. Mm-hmm. My mind is in the comedy. My mind is in the art.
I get all that. I get all that.
Forget all that.
I miss that. I really do. I miss that part of the entertainment that I grew up on watching that kind of wrestling.
Right.
I grew up on watching, the Stone Cold who's at The Rock getting run over in a limo,
Right.
In WWF. I grew up on that shit. I miss that. The problem is that everybody wants, again, the Google, the black and white. Is it true? Is it not true? They want to know the facts. They want to know for sure. And there's just a lot of crazy people out there. So I respect your entertainment. I respect that you're doing that. I do. I like it. It's fun. I told you, I laughed my ass off on it. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. After I sat back, what they call Monday morning quarterback, I sat back and started thinking, is that the best thing to do in this situation?
Oh, I love that. And that's the response that I genuinely like.
From me.
I like.
That's the response that you want from me, from a easy, level-headed person.
Yeah, and that's
there's not a lot of people like that out there anymore. I told you, we're a dying breed. Just like Art LeBeau, me and Art LeBeau.
But I can agree that can be in, but it's just art. It's just art to me. That's all it is. And the whole page thing, that was crazy. Okay, hold on, because I have my things onto where I can take accountability for, but yeah. And the one thing is, because I'm the initial one to do the video.
Yeah.
Like, I am not 100% the total creator of all.
Yeah, right.
Right. I'm not the total creator of all.
No, let me make this clear. No, I wasn't expecting you to even say anything about it. I thought we were gonna have a conversation about it. But as just one of the podcasters in it, not knowing you were in it, but whatever, you let the cat out of the bag on that one, but which is fine. You don't have to say anything else other than that. All I was saying was it could get to a point, I don't know if it will. I hope it never does.
There was comments on YouTube that said that I was 100%. I was the only one person behind it.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they got deleted.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a couple days where it was just like, it was intense, like just comments on YouTube back and forth, and I was just like, okay. There was this one that was just like, I was like, okay, like, I felt like this person was just reaching for stuff to get a reaction. Mm-hmm. And me, I'm a reactive guy, right? I can be reactive, but on YouTube, I'm not going to be reactive. Like, come on. Yeah. You've heard me for 2 hours and 38 minutes saying that.
Has it been that long?
I don't like it. This doesn't like, it doesn't appeal to me. Like, to argue with people over the internet, it doesn't appeal with me.
Yeah.
I'll make a joke. Haha. Funny guy, bald guy, glasses, whatever. We're done. Right. But there was reaching for me to react to certain things, right? And I didn't allow that. And I read out a whole paragraph, made it comical. I love writing. I'm a writer. And I was like, you know what? This is not worth it. Because it's just going to, when is it going to end?
Right.
Then I deleted it. Didn't say anything. A couple hours later, all the comments were deleted.
Mm.
So, I mean, there was that thing like over comments, and I was just like, oh my God, this like really like all this one 1 minute and a half video did all this. Created a podcast, created an IG, created this, created that, and
have you been on Reddit?
Mm-mm.
You never been?
I do. I visit it a little bit, but not.
It's crazy. The people they just start talking like you talk about keyboard warriors, right? They're just out there just talking all kinds of. Reddit is. I have to same thing. I get on there and I'm like, I'll do my little bit of research and I go on there and I'm like, what the fuck?
Really?
People just get intense, dude. Like intense. Like I would think, fuck, you can get arrested for saying shit like that.
Really? That bad?
Bro, it's
that bad.
It is bad. That's why I'm saying there's a lot of crazies out there. You just have to be careful, just when you, when you post things like that. It's funny. I'm telling you, it's funny. It's just that be careful.
Thank you.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's a PSA, if anything, right?
Yeah.
PSA.
Okay.
Because you don't know, and not even him. I swear to God, I don't think that the person that you guys are talking about is the one.
It's not a person. It's an alien.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. The alien, the fake dinosaur. I don't even think it's that one. I don't think it's that. I think it's the followers. That's how it is. It's always the crazies out there that are following that are the ones that
There we go. It's the followers. So
it's not that one.
Don't follow me. Is the takeaway
not
from
your followers, the other ones.
Right. The takeaway for this is, if you're crazy, don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this podcast. Don't follow Gill. Follow Talking Again podcast when he comes back. If he comes back, because I think we narrowed that down to where if I come back.
It's an if.
It's an if for sure. You were gone. You were taking a piss when I was talking about it, but on the playback you might be able to watch it and listen to it. Unless you want me to elaborate a little bit more, but
it's an if.
It's an if for sure.
Damn.
I definitely want to because I miss it. I miss this right here recording.
But maybe just.
I think I have to somehow. Nobody but myself can fix the fact of keeping the business side of it away from the passionate side of it,
right?
The hobby.
Okay. Well, if you need to ever blow off some steam, or need to share something, or need to be a creative, person, dude, you're always welcome.
Thank you. No, thank you. I put it out there a couple times, but nobody ever jumped on it until you did. So
really,
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Really?
Oh no, I've told people like I'm willing to come on the show, but I won't just show up and someone's show, and I don't want to invite myself. I gotta be invited onto a show, right? And you reached out, so I'm like right away. I was like, hell yeah! I don't want to fucking say no. I'll think about it. Nah, fuck that. I don't want to blow my shot.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, if we would have came up to some agreement,
I know somehow we would have done it, but I know that well, if I ever do. When I do, if I do.
No, when you do.
When I do.
Yeah.
I hope to.
Dude,
right?
This is probably like the second longest.
I know, I'm sorry, I talk a lot. My bad.
No, this is all good.
But I would love for you to come on, my podcast and
really
we'll do it again.
I've only done a couple of that are not Mind Buzz.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Ramos.
I did Ramos. I did Solocas and pretty much it.
You definitely have to work your way up to Rambling Alcoholics because you definitely.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Definitely do a lot of drinking.
Yeah, but I'm not ready for that.
Uber's a friend.
No. Exactly. Yeah. That was a whole thing that I talked to Jaime about. I was like, if I'm gonna do Rambling Alcoholics, then it's gonna be a plan. Yeah. Like it's gonna be.
You bring a friend and they just wait for you, or you Uber.
Yeah. It's gonna be an Uber date. Definitely. It's gonna be. a couple of edibles and some good,
yeah,
some good stuff. But I the thing is, like, I can't take an edible and then do a podcast. I have to do an edible. I have a whole ritual. I have a whole ritual that I got to do, because the last time that I did THC and went onto a podcast, I was quiet for like 2 hours. Like the encore was probably the best.
Yeah.
It was the best
That was
podcast.
Ramos one.
Yeah. It the encore was way better
I
than
forgot you were there.
than the exactly
On the regular one. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think I've created that rhythm for that.
I think you could probably chop it off as a little nervous, maybe. I don't know if you're saying that was one of your first ones as your guest, maybe, or what?
No, the first one with Ramos was my that was like one of the first ones that I've done besides Mind Buzz. But with Chris, because that was the first time meeting Chris, and it was only my second time meeting Jose.
Yeah.
So there was like a little, kind of, and plus, dude, I'm used to my studio.
Right.
I'm used to my mics.
Right.
I'm used to being home.
Yeah.
I'm used to my studio, which I make love to every night, and every afternoon at 4:20, I sit in this and do my ritual. Like this is home to me. This is my love. This is just I've made love in this room. I've shared so many memeries in this place.
Yeah.
That it's me. It's home.
I was wondering what the smell was. Yeah. Now I know. Thank you for sharing all that.
No, but dude, that's how it is. So like when I go to somewhere else, I'm just like, okay, I'm in a new environment.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's gonna be good because I'm just gonna. How about this? I'm just gonna be Gill in somebody else's studio.
Yeah, you got to be Gill.
That's it.
Just be Gill. Yeah, that's the easiest thing. That's the easiest thing to do because you're not faking the funk. Right. Once you start faking it, that's hard to do.
Is it?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Trust me, dude. Trust me. I've tried doing that. I've told you, I've had guests that I'm like, I'm not really, but I'll do it. That's hard. It's hard to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easier to be yourself. That's why, sometimes it works out for you. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I've lost a lot of friends and family, even family that don't want to talk to me anymore because I got tired of bullshitting. I just want to tell you what's up. If they don't like it, and fucking don't call me.
Bro, you can't hear that because you don't have the headphones on.
Oh no, what was the song?
It's the outro to the Mind Buzz.
You jam me to the outro.
There you go. Go ahead and share what you want to if you have a podcast or not by the end of this.
Well, thank you again for inviting me, for having me on the show, man. It's not easy just like, getting random people out to your house. Never met before. But thanks again, Gill. Second, check out Talking Again podcast. Even though I'm not officially back
still in the
podcasting,
right.
There's a shitload of episodes that you guys could watch right now if you want to. A lot of interesting people from A to Z. I mean, I can't describe it any other way than A to Z. I've had nurses that were in COVID and stuck in emergency offices that were dealing with COVID patients. I've had athletes, boxers, trainers, you name it, cops. I've had podcasters on. Again, A through Z. You know what I haven't had, and one day I will, is a prostitute. I think
I was just talking about that today.
The life of a prostitute is.
I was just talking about that. You have no idea. I'm trying to get somebody.
Oh, are you really?
I'm trying to get somebody.
Well, if you do, that'd be awesome. I can't wait to listen to it. But I would love to hear just the life of that, like just the ins and outs of it. How'd you get into it? Like, so many questions.
Honestly, like, if I get a prostitute, I'll pass her on to you.
Hey, it ain't no fun. Almost can't have done. Thank you, and I appreciate you for that. That's it. I mean, follow Instagram, Talking Again Podcast, on YouTube, Talking Again Podcast. All the link tree, I think, is The Tap, but the link tree is posted onto my Instagram, so boom.
The Mind Buzz. Again, I thought Art LeBeau was dead. I'm sorry. IRAP. Art LeBeau. Bye-bye.